right? So it's like a lot of mixing here and there. Very aggressive. I think that Kira and Funky were absolutely amazing there at that event. But stage 1 was not easy for them. There were a lot of changes and they just fell short at the end of it to qualify for the next event. They do, however, qualify to be here. And it's time to see if they can also bounce. We know Valorant.
Katanya ke Aspas. Dari Aspas kan ini. Aspas itu terimbi kalau nggak salah. Nah, ini dia.
These nostrils are flared open. He is set up for success. When you got the breathe right strip on, you know this gamer is locked in. He's got the Red Bull. He's got the Monster Energy ready to go. Pilski, how do you activate this man in game though to his maximum potential? And what about the big dogs over on Global Esports? Who's the threat we have on camera now?
I mean, that's Harvey. That's their IGL. He's a rookie IGL coming into Pacific just this year, and he's been able to bring them to an international event. A little bit up and down in terms of the individual performance. He actually is mechanically pretty sharp, but especially when the game gets hot, I think that's where the IGL brain drain really hits, and his performance does sometimes take a dip. At the same time, though, he's got a lot of heavy hitters around him. On the other side of things, Aspas doesn't need anyone to activate him. He just activates himself.
True, that's true.
Just
that's
round 3. Give him an AR, let him rip.
Literally.
He's literally the kind of person that once he picks up the operator, that's when he becomes really lethal. That being said, he's been really good at taking those fights. The thing about Aspas that I like is that he's not too aggressive of a duelist to the point of where he takes a lot of those over peaks. But what I do really like is the way that Zekin and Aspas have worked together recently. Their synergy has made them so good at becoming more aggressive together, taking those peaks together. Their gameplay has been really well-rounded, and I think for Zekin and Aspas, I'm looking at them to be that dynamic duo when they are playing the double duelist.
Guys, we have the option to go to an ad, but I think we can keep chatting a little bit here as we get this game going. We're just waiting on one player to throw on his headset, and then we'll be diving in. We can talk about some historic rivalries, some matches that they've had in the past, but I want to start here, Athena, about your opinion on adults with plushies, aka stuffed animals, at their workstation.
Oh, at their workstation? Absolutely. Yes. I love it. I'm a big fan.
I
I mean, have you seen a lot of these plushies? Most of them actually have really deep meanings for these players, which is really cute. Some are given by girlfriends or wives. Some they bought when they went to some sort of global event that reminds them of home. And I think it's nice to just always have something that kind of grounds you.
So you don't see it as like a visual ball and chain?
No.
It's more of like happy, positive thoughts, reassuring comfort.
Yes.
Gifts. Okay. Understood. I don't know. I saw a purple hippo up there on the desk. I was like, I don't know what's going on with my star player.
You're just mad that you don't have a plushie on your desk.
My wife has not given me a stuffed animal yet. I'm going to request that for my 21st birthday. Pilski, talk to me a little bit about the mojo, though. If you're looking for a swing in momentum, is there a hype man on Global Esports? Is there like an emotional leader on that squad?
I think they have several. I think Harvey and Patman are kind of the duo coming out of the Philippines that bring a lot of energy to the team. They both have a big kind of hand in the calling presence, and I think Autumn is kind of the calming presence in the team that has by far the most experience on this team. And whenever an Australian guy gets hyped in your ears, you're going to be pretty pumped up. He's going to G up the boys.
On the other side, Athena, we're taking a look at a few of the players here from MIBR. Who is my in-game leader and who is my duelist to watch that could go for that pop-off moment on camera?
Burno's going to be your in-game leader. Absolutely insane in the server, by the way. Just get ready to watch him. But in terms of duelists, you actually have two. You have Zekin and Aspas that are highly considered two of the best duelists when it comes to Americas. Obviously, nothing on Sato and Neon right now because they're kind of going crazy on Leviathan. But they're so good. You should watch them play. And I think the most important part is you should watch them and how they play together, because together they become this crazy like twin flame moment and they just go crazy.
Get low, big time. Get low, big dog. Our friends from the Alpha stage making their way across as they are trying to get eyes on all of the action. It looks like our players are getting into this map veto in just a moment. So let's dive into this match and talk big picture. It's a best of 3 this time around here at EWC 2026. And the first ban is in. MIBR getting rid of Sunset. Fracture is out. So we are going to see some new maps today, starting with Lotus here for Global Esports. Oh, sorry. Looks like we're going to see Lotus picked by MIBR.
Yeah, I think this Lotus pick makes a lot of sense. I mean, for MIBR, they've had so much success. They actually had a 100% win rate. Granted, it was the one win on this in the past month or 2 months when they've played in Americas, when they've played in those qualifiers. They've also played it recently in the EWC qualifier against Crew, and they won it 13-7, which, if you know anything about Americas, Crew has been the team to beat on Lotus. They've always had really good protocols. So for MIBR to kind of win that game, I think it makes sense to let that through, especially seeing how for GE, they don't really have success on that map.
At the same time, though, if you go back and look at GE's history on Lotus, 3 different games, 3 losses, 3 different comps. They always change comp. They even played a really crazy triple Senti comp, I think, inspired by XLG up against Paper X that didn't really go well for them over in the Ho Chi Minh finals. So I think it's going to be hard for MIBR to have a read picking Lotus against GE, and that's why I'm keeping an eye on the agent select here to see which direction you're going to get from both of these teams. For MIBR, does seem like they're kind of considering their options here, but a deadlock does seem like a bit of a departure from what they were playing last time. At least Verno's locked in the deadlock. Over on the side of GE, though, they go a lot of different directions in terms of their comps. This time, they're going to lead into something a little bit more standard looking with the double duelist. I mean, I'm confused because we do have the graphic around a certain way, and I do think that the comp on the right looks more like something that GE might play. Maybe not the Harbor, though, and I do know that some of the Latin American players and teams do love the Harbor from time to time.
You have been accurate with your questioning in the past. You might be onto something. Athena, do you agree with this take, or can MIBR roll with the Harbor?
I think MIBR could potentially roll with the Harbor. Also, the Reyna is just, it's such a crazy pick, and I think that we've seen it have some sort of success. I think when you're playing on a map like Lotus, it takes away a lot of kind of potential. Like when you're playing a Phoenix, you have the wall, you have the flash around the corners, but the Reyna flash is just not that good in my opinion, so I am a little worried about whichever team did pick the Reyna, because it's so
a little bit worried. This comp is batshit. Like, honestly, what is going on, man? This is crazy. And it has to be GE, because if it's not MIBR, I've lost the plot. Like, this is a team that I've watched play a lot of double duelists, and it's like
low-key, it might be a strat. Like, low-key, if it's MIBR, you're like, guys, we're better.
Yo, if I am the brand new coach, I'm bringing out a brand new comp, and I'm about to blow the Valorant community's mind. It is time to shine, baby.
If Platoon is promoted to head coach and he goes into the first game playing ISO Reyna, you're really going to have a tough time handling the fraudulent allegations at that point, especially
if it works.
If it works, sorry, my
do you guys remember the G2 run where they literally were playing ISO Harbor on Bree? Sorry, so they've made it work. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is Americans, because we've had it before in the past.
Is this concern that ISO is not strong enough? Is it just the combination of these two? What has you concerned for the noobs out there like me?
They're just weak agents at the moment. They don't see a lot of play in the meta. There's some of the less picked duelists. I can name 4 or 5 duelists better than a Reyna ISO.
You should name 6 or 7 duelists.
6 or 7 duelists.
Yeah.
There you go. Pilsky is not afraid to take on a challenge. I love that. I'm going to keep throwing them at you. Athena, you're a bit on the fence here, so I'm really going to make you give me a declaration.
Okay.
Who is the first to 8 rounds in this game?
Another rifle, both now armed to the teeth, and a plant found. Phi goes through right away. Woot's going to pull out of position. The paranoia forced him back. Now Rienz is under pressure, and Woot's stuck in the smoke. The spam going to make it easy to fire right back, and they are defusing right under his nose. Half already, desperately close, and they'll get it across the line.
It's still going to be a costly round, but I think for all gamers, an important one to take early on. I do think that Heretics going to look at that and go, probably could have got some easy openers there. I think Benji's going to feel a little bit hard done by that. He doesn't manage to get that kill across the line. And of course, for Heretics, well, what I was going to say at the beginning of the game is this is an interesting one, because you go back in history, Haven was their hometown map. It was a map that nobody in EMEA ever wanted to play them on. This was, of course, during the Minibu era. Since then, it's been a very up and down map, and I could understand looking at the stats, especially looking at regional play. For all gamers, this is a fantastic map. This is one that they've looked very good on, especially throughout the qualifier, winning each game comfortably. But it seems like they have also swapped up quite a lot of things, like even a couple of roles here and there. I think before where we saw Fangir going on to the likes of a Phoenix, now he switched up to Chamber. Like they really are just like shifting a lot of stuff around in order to get things comfortable for everybody. And if that works out, fantastic. I think for Bai still being on the Neon, that's always going to be exciting. But realistically, it's whether or not the balance between GRQ and Kira on what I believe is.
Lagi kita nunggu ya. Poin badan tuh kali ini.
Probably both of these teams have used the outlaw.
Jangan lupa kalian badan.
Aspas do it. I've seen GE do it. I've seen Order pick it up. So that's when you're going to pick that up. Operator, yeah, Zekin, that's true. Operator in any other circumstance, you know, when you want to mix it in for a gun round.
I have a question for you.
Hit me.
Who on G, based on the agents, who's gonna opt, the Rainer or the ISO?
I am questioning
or the
neither.
I'm questioning whether that's the comp we're gonna see when we get in the server, because we are resetting the lobby as far as I know.
Yeah.
So they may have.
I've got news. Ignore what we've seen in the past. The Harbor Wave could still be in the game. He could be removed. We're gonna find out as only time will tell. We've got a whole bunch of new awesome graphics being loaded in across the board here. If you guys could see what we see, we are in the middle of a massive expo center downtown Paris, France, and they are building all around us. Stages are going up. We've got video walls growing, and our players are still filing in. We've got MBOL still going on, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, excuse me, and of course, this game, Valorant, going on in week 0. Agent Select is ready. Let's dive into it and find out who our players actually want to play on our first map. Athena, remind me, what is map number 1? Where are we playing and what fits well?
Is Lotus, and I think both of these Agent Selects make a little bit of sense. I am a little bit scared for the side of MIBR because that Waylay hasn't really found that much success recently. It's kind of crazy that the Americas teams, we saw NRG picking that up on the Fracture and kind of struggling to find success. But I think when I'm looking at Aspas, I really like him on the Jet, and I'm a little bit worried that that first double duelist pick is going to be scary.
Yeah, I think for MIBR, this is a departure from the comp they were playing just previously in the qualifiers, but only by a little bit. I think the Waylay is the singular focus to that. For GE, as I mentioned before, they played 3 games of Lotus in the last couple of months. They played 3 different comps, and this is nothing surprising to see them lean in to get another different comp. Once again, though, running the double duelist, just a little bit of a different flavor. Honestly, I think what MIBR are running, though, the Waylay is going to be fantastic against the Vice. It's so easy to be able to bait out some of those setups and then just refract out. Really helps you work the map here on Lotus. Yeah,
that's very true. I think the way that they play it is really important here, and I hope they have some antis because their Neon has been really good. And immediately, right off the bat, we're going to see an aggro C play with these duelists. The Raise Nades coming in and GE just speeding up.
Autumn getting ready for the dash on in. Paint Shell's going to slow down the offense for GE just for a moment, but the double dive on in is finding some impact. Aspas from the backside of the site, cleaned up by Yutatan. Verno, as well as the rest of MIBR, trying to force their way through Waterfall, but it's not the clean execution that they're really looking for. Peek through the smoke, goes the way of Harvey. As GE get themselves the player advantage, push on spawn side. The IGL of GE really starting to warm up. And on the other side of things, it's Verno for MIBR that has to pick up the pieces. Yeah, GE starting really explosive, just going, contesting that fight, and making sure they're able to push up. Udotan gonna get the Sheriff kill onto Verno. But yeah, the pistol going the way of Global Esports. And I think for MIBR here, I mean, taking that peak is one thing, but not having a fallback plan is a little bit scary. That pistol just trying to scout, get some information, I'm assuming, and they weren't expecting the whole pack of GE to be there. I mean, honestly, you wouldn't have had it any other way if you're MIBR. If you're playing double C Mound with Zekin and Aspas on double duelist and the other team runs into you, you can't really complain, honestly. So GE are going to be quite happy about how that round went. Now into the anti-eco. Haven't fully committed to this buy. Autumn and Zarvi with a little bit of extra cash in the back pocket. Got the C's nade over on the A side of the map. Aspas getting active, activating that refract, and does at least take a chunk out of Patman. He's the only player to really invest anything in this round for MIBR. This is the type of round that Puckett would have loved to see. two scope weapons online for both these teams, but picking up towards this A side here. We have
Xavi actually just sitting outside of that C mound, tapping on that door, putting some pressure, using the Prowler to clear that door. And it's actually going to pull 3 of these players on MIBR into this site. They do have a chance to re-clear, but anything that they do right now might be just a little bit too late because GE, they're already all over on the side of C about to execute.
Yeah, I don't mind if MIB are just stacking up where the pressure is, but GE are giving them the runaround right now. Straight up on into the C site. No opposition there from MIBR, just looking to group up on spawn side and see if they can get some damage done with these pistols.
Pushing towards the spawn here. Kind of scary with this Phantom. Gets paranoid and gets treated instantly. Verno gets the pick onto Autumn. Now all these players falling back on GE, trying to play a safe post plan. That's a Phantom, a Spectre in the hands of Zekin actually. And they're holding it on and they're trying to do this flood retake, but Batman shutting it down. Ospas, they're trade back onto it now, just flooding at Zekin and Mazzino getting picked. Man, they should not have pushed into spawn there. That was not a good idea against pistols.
Yeah, Pistol just trying to pick up the pieces at the end of things, but that is a very bitter defeat for GE, unfortunately. Echoed by not by classics and a singular Marshall in the hands of Aspas. That is not how you wanted your anti-eco to be going, and already MIB are a massive boon for them at the start of this Lotus game after conceding the pistol.
Yeah, it feels like we're seeing MIBR just moving as a pack in that last round, and it really rewarded them. We were talking about how the timing might not be there, but it doesn't matter. And now we're looking at the side of GE. 2 pistols, Sheriff and a Bandit, but we have 3 rifles to kind of work with. But it's going to be a little bit harder going for this A lobby take. The Raze Boomba is actually going to go in. They're going to see that there is someone there, knowing that the pressure is there. Aspas is pushed all the way up, using his refractor just in the nick of time because he was 1 second away from losing that fallback.
Door open by Udatan. Little bit of an investment in this round for GE as the Prowler confirms that GE are indeed inside of tree. Nade for Zekin will zone the attackers away for now. And that's a beautiful seize combo to take out Autumn. GE not happy with how that looks or feels, but Crystal is activating in the middle of the map. Aspas is dropped, and this gives some concern over to MIBR. Massino through the backside of that door, though, does at least give them the man advantage, and he's not done. Looking to push a little bit more here.
Getting a lot of information, pushing this A-line, but Tex getting the pick onto Crystal. Now that plan B has fallen apart. GE gonna try to contact up here. They're not gonna clear Rebel just yet. Mazzino gets spotted, but he gets the pick. 1v4, but now 1v3. Patman with a beautiful Sheriff shot onto Mazzino, and all 3 of these players from MIBR are already on the safe site.
Patman looking locked in. He is a big game player for GE, but this is a triple high-low on stairs side that he's about to walk into. Not even the best of players can be dealing with that. Horn dealt with by MIBR, confirming that there is someone on stairs side, and that is just not the angle Patman was looking for. Second round for MIBR here, and GE looking to go into their gun round after the upset on the eco.
I love to see the vibes from MIBR, knowing that they're just kind of playing their game, making sure they're taking a lot of these peaks. I mean, Mazzino just re-walking up instantly. You can tell that's just a sign of confidence in this game when they're able to just take those fights, kind of not really feeling the pressure of losing those 1v1s. Obviously, a little bit punished, but it's okay because now Aspas online with the operator, that operator that we were talking about so much so on this first gun round for GE.
Yep. It is the Cypher as well as the Omen towards C Mound, though, and that is exactly where GE are starting to challenge. Cam is still out there towards C to try to confirm whether this is actually going to be a commitment as we head a little bit deeper into this round. Nightfall picked up by Patman. I think they're just going to take that ult and run with it as the progression smoke and the Prowler go in. Still 2 players on the site here. Burno pushed away as he TPs into spawn, and Texas hung around a little bit too far on Waterfall there.
Now post plant for GE. Trying not to overextend because they have numbers, but look at how fast these players have gone over here from the side of MIBR. Using that Nightfall on both sides. Not really pushing or moving forward based off of it, but the spike finally gonna get planted. Seconds in, Patman and Udo getting those picks. Udo with a 3K to shut it down, and Verno now left in a 1v4. The nade's coming in, and it's gonna make a 4K for Udo.
Yeah, he's got his showstopper online now. That's a big round to win for GE to restore a little bit of confidence, and they are starting to really hammer home the point that this C site is a problem for MIBR. Rolled over it both on the pistol and then in their opening gun round here. Despite who's playing there, Global Esports are not having too many problems cracking that.
Yeah, looks like MIBR, the flood retake just wasn't there. Zekin was all out onto site using both satchels and no one was there to follow up. The util wasn't really there either, but now a little change of pace here for MIBR, using a heavy stack towards the same main to get control.
Yeah, Outlaw out on the line. Bottom looking for the pick, dodging that paranoia. Crystal's got him backed decently, and despite the fact that MIBR do secure control of Rebel, they've lost 2 players on the C push and the A push. GE in full control of this round.
Grouping towards this C here. They're not worried about it. They've come here before. Bruno playing close with that bandit. Not going to be able to get one, but as I say that, he gets 2. Zabi getting a trade onto Verno. A spam kill from a Mizzino, and all of a sudden, it's a 2v2 here.
Very winnable for MIBR. Especially given the fact that we have 1 player down on a Sheriff this round. Prowler going forward for a little bit of information. The Fade on the other side of things looking to slow this one down. Both of MIBR creeping up on Waterfall side. Patman just playing the off angle, does spot out Aspas and loses a little bit of the trade, but that doesn't give him pause for thought. He just continues challenging this off angle. Crystal has got the cross. Aspas into a very difficult 1-on-2, able to punish Patman for the peek on the back of the Prowler there. Spike ticking a little bit faster as pressure is being applied by Crystal, and he's going to peek out, but Aspas able to spray him through the wall and pick up that massive 1-on-2 for MIBR. This is just such a tense game.
I questioned a little bit the Aspas waylay, but his movement there, the way that he uses util was really nice to see. MIBR, they keep going for these aggressive peaks, trying to get that line. Tech's also answering on the other side. When they lose a number, trying to retake some sort of space towards C. It looked really rough, but for GE, this right here, Verno getting these 2 was so important. Punishing those players for just not making sure that they're trading, and the way that they're pathing into sight was a really good one.
Really rough. You left in a 2-on-1 against Aspas and took him all the way down to 14 HP, but that's all he needs to get some of those rounds done. You can see just how much damage this has done to both teams' economy now. This is going to be a reset round for both of them in round number 6. Quick moves here on towards the C side of the map from MIBR, really pushing it all the way down. Prowler clears the middle of the map. Firstly, on the other side of things, GE have taken A control, but are looking to re-clear the middle of the map here.
Slow group towards this C side here. MIBR have literally nothing on this site. 2 players rotating over towards spawn, make that 3. They have an inkling that they're trying to end towards this C site here, and the Prowler comes out. The execute, that's going to be so much noise, but they're positioned really well here for MIBR to have a really fast flood.
There's big ults for both of these teams. GE very tentative on getting the spike down. They don't want to kind of push the issue too much. They know that MIBR are ready for this flood. In goes the showstopper and the convergent pass. The rocket not really converting on anything. And we're still in a 5-on-5. Aspas finally breaking through for the time being. Still tentative, waiting for that rocket to elapse on the side of GE, who are all playing inside of the site. Audible close, able to convert on at least 2, but out of ammo. A couple of trades come through, and it's all down to Patman. In a 1-on-2, this is what he does best. Rookie of the year last year, but not good enough this time. Verno will put him down, and it's another successful C retake for MIBR.
That's crazy from MIBR. That whole round, they were constantly moving in the spawn, constantly rotating, trying to find out where the lines were. It was a little bit weird that they were moving towards that A site where Tex had set up all his Cypher trips, but they learned right away. They heard that there was no noise, no pressure. They instantly rotated over. Still a little bit scary. That was a little bit sloppy of a retake, getting picked off when they're running through the smokes like that, making sure they're not in trading positions, lining up a little bit. So it was a little bit scary, but again, MIBR winning out with the power of their frags. And now on this round, we're going to have a full thrifty here for GE. Sheriffs almost across the board, but knives on the side of Autumn.
It's a big round for MIBR to be winning. Need to try to capitalize off the back of that. Once again, you're getting this refract walk through from Aspas straight into Autumn, but that's a difficult shot to be converting on the blades.
That was scary. That was really scary. Autumn with those knives are not something to be messed with. But GE continuing to take it a little bit slow, just trying to find their pick, find their one, trying to get that number advantage so they could pick where they want to go. Looking like they want to end towards this A here, but a little Prowler not going to get any info. Aspas getting the peek, drops Autumn, and all of a sudden, that's a lot of information for them because Mizzino has Olive Tree and 3 players now on this A site ready to keep it fight for it, make sure they don't get on.
Yeah, Verno on that C info line is fantastic. That's a cracker of an entry from Harvey though, but Aspas still getting in the mix with the Outlaw, able to dash out of the site now, but there's a lot of pressure here for GE. Oma TP does come in, but unfortunately they haven't checked Tex yet. That's a spike drop. Neural Theft is invested there, and Patman caught on the cross. Crystal was potentially a little bit of a contingency plan here for GE to pivot on over to, but when he doesn't have the spike, there's not much to be done, and Aspas will end it outright. That's 3 in a row now for MIBR.
This has been a really big step up for Aspas on this Waylay. I feel like his movement has just become so much cleaner than what it used to be on the Waylay. Felt a little bit clunky, felt a little bit like they didn't have a plan. But now, this in particular made me gasp because it was just so scary. But then also when he's on that site, able to just get away from the fight after taking his pick, his timings on this has been really good. And of course, the rotations from MIBR, it's been so good all game so far. Feels like they're almost that step ahead. They're just there every single time when they know that GE is putting down the pressure. And now for GE, they're probably wondering, what do they need to do? So far, they've had that success on getting onto C. They've had success on getting the spike down, but it's that fast flood all of a sudden that they can't cope with.
Yeah, I think a lot of these rounds are just getting quite messy and drawn out, unfortunately. Neither one of these teams really getting the clean execution that they're looking for, and MRBR always coming ahead in those situations. So this is not a particularly easy pause to take as GE, because you're kind of trying to adjust on micro things like, okay, our spacing is off a little bit, maybe our comms are off, maybe we need to make better plans in some of these post plans. But we'll see what the approach is going to be, whether it is going to be those micro adjustments or whether they're going to come in with a clear plan into round 8. Trying to break this dry spell. Got the pistol, got ecoed. We're able to come through with a gun round in round 4, but outside of that, MIBR is really starting to pull ahead now.
Yep, another operator online for Aspas this time. Bought to him by Verno, and they're going to do another seize nade towards this Rebel, trying to punish any A main. The dash comes in. He might get caught by those nades, and Zakin gets that pick onto Autumn with those paint shells. Mazzino just pushing up. His aim is so crisp. Udo getting caught off, just trying to jump up towards that half wall, and now all of a sudden, GE's plan is just falling apart. They can't get this A lobby. They have no presence anywhere else on this map. And MIBR, they just have the full line, getting the orb. This is just a chill day for them.
Yeah, this is nightmare fuel for GE. Post timeout, they immediately get caught by the seize nade. Both duelists hit the deck. Now Patman trying to pick up the pieces. Prowler going forward. Aspas on a pretty dirty off angle here. I don't think this is to be expected. That is a cracker of a shot from Crystal. GE might have a little bit of a chance in here. Maybe are well aware of exactly where GE are. The question is, how many more duels are they going to be given?
Mazzino alone on this A site, but Tex to join him. The baby door being held to here by Zakin, and Crystal getting another one. He's the main reason why this team has come back into this round. Walking up here, looking like they're trying to end towards A. Tex with a beautiful flank, and Inferno getting that final pick onto Patman.
Yeah, that's Tex's best position. He's just won like 2 rounds for MIBR from that exact same spot. Perfect timing. Always just valuing his life and waiting in the wings, knowing that his Cypher utility is doing a lot of work on the map, and then when he's needed, comes out from the woodwork and gets it done. The round that did not start well. Credit to Crystal, since his transition over to the Sentinel role, his mechanics have really been something to marvel at after maybe having some weaker performances individually in the past. But that still wasn't quite enough to dig GE out of a bit of a nightmare situation as they go back onto yet another kind of weaker buy.
Aspas setting up with the op towards that C, so it is a little bit weaker, but they're sitting here trying to get any information. The Odin spam coming in through that door towards tree. Tex is here just spamming. Full setup towards B, which hasn't really been contested yet. Haven't tried breaking any of those Cypher trips on the side of GE. So Tex is just having a field day, having those really good rotations as much as he can. And now information gathered from Mazzino. They're going to know that there's players towards this A site.
There goes Harvey. No more smokes on the attacking side. Those are usually important, as far as I'm aware, Athena. We've lost Udatan as well. Autumn swinging through the smoke, hand in hand with Patman. It's an immediate paranoia straight from Verno over on the B side. And that is giving GE pause for thought, completely shut down. This has been a landslide of rounds capped off by a flawless from MIBR.
This is almost a landslide. here for MIBR. They're getting away with so much. They're so good at getting these early fights, or at least forcing GE to take them. They're fighting at this point both sides of the map just because they can. Fighting that A, fighting that C, setting Ospas up with an op anywhere that he wants to go. And just being really annoying. It feels like they're not even forcing it that hard. They're just allowing GE to take the bait on a lot of these fights, and now switching it up, this setup towards B site. We said that they never really challenged it, and somehow MIBR knew, because 2 players here for the first time from GE.
Crystal given a stern warning there, down to 4 HP, and Aspas might go back for a second helping here. Out by the Prowler there from Mazzino. Patman pushed away. Verno continually just has this C info line self-sufficiently for MIBR. Doesn't even need any help. He just keeps cycling the dark covers. And once again, GE given a rubble control, because MIBR, honestly, at this point, do not care if they have it. Every single time GE actually use it to springboard into A, they get absolutely rolled.
And now, finally, Tex is going to see some action, ending towards that Cypher site for the first time this game. They're going to see that trip, and they're going to know something's up. Hopefully, they're thinking for themselves that this might be the weaker site, but we still need to be careful, because there's 3 players here towards the side of MIBR. The Nightfall comes out, stops that execute from ever happening for GE, and they walk away because they're just a little bit scared.
Verno not overcooking that one, but at least GE have pushed him off the info line. Autumn very much hoping that someone will give him some kind of opportunity here, but with the cam up, there's absolutely no reason for MIBR to peek Tex. They've seen him in stairs so many times. Spamming away, they'll be well aware that he's in there. Inside of tree is Zekken. The trip gets hit, but no one really capitalizing off the back of that. Patman's dead inside of the door, and Zekken not really tested enough inside a tree. Crossfire coming through from Tex with only 10 seconds on the clock. This is falling apart for GE. 10 HP on Udatan, and that is an easy 3K for Zekken. How many rounds have they just walked up A into an absolute nightmare situation?
It's insane. Like, whether Tex is there alone on weak side, he's able to hold. Whether the team is literally not on site, they're able to rotate in time. And every single time, they're just punishing GE using the C's nade combo at the best of times from MIBR. It feels like they've really got a definite good read on how GE is playing, how they're going to be adapting. They're 1 or 2 steps ahead at this point, I feel like. And now we're going to be looking at this round. 2 players from MIBR here towards this C mound, but it's 2 different players. It's Verno and Tex this time, as opposed to Zekken and Ospas. Tex getting 2 picks. He's been a star player so far this game, but the trades are coming in. Javi and Patman both good for 1, and all of a sudden the Nightfall comes in. This execute is gonna be turned into a spike plan. I see that, but Zekken's already into sight. He's floated in. Udo getting a pick, but it's not enough. Ospas, Patman.
Wow, spike.
Oh man, I mean, again, GE, they do a pretty good job of cracking on into that C site, but the flood is a little bit too fast for them to deal with. Zekken diving in with the rocket, and Aspas just light speeding in with the shorty. Able to end that round before GE can really get the comfortable and put their feet up inside of the C site. 9-2. This is very rough going for GE. This Lotus pick is looking pretty excellent on the side of MIBR. They might even hit double digits before we end this first half of regulation here.
Yeah, definitely scary.
Okay, don't laugh
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
You don't like my villain laugh?
That's too much.
Just, you know, reminding you that America's is going to be on top. But anyway, 3 of these players from MIBR, they're set up towards A. Again, knowing that there's something going on here. Zekken using the nades with the Waylay combo. That was insane, and another punish for Autumn. And GE, they're opting to just run towards this site. But Verno hears that TP. Oh, Javi sticking that insane. And now all these trips are going to slow down the rest of the execute. Tex punishing Udo. But the trade with that rocket.
Comes the Steel Garden. Desperation stations here for GE as Verno's able to deal with Patman, and it's a 10-2 half for MIBR. Just absolute domination here on Lotus defense.
Switching sides.
I feel like a player that we haven't talked about enough is Tex, and he's on the top of the scoreboard here. He's been playing so well, and I feel like this player has consistently been a rock for this team, a stabilizer. He's always good for his, playing that Senti role. His lurks have been insane. He's constantly been really good with those rotates, as we can see on this map specifically. He's always in the right place on the right time. And now I'm kind of excited to see how he plays on this attack side, seeing how he's going to lurk, how he's going to take those ones, because you can tell none of these players on MIBR are scared to take their ones.
No, definitely not, and nor should they be. A lot of talent stacked up on this roster, and now they've finally gotten the chance to grace the international stage. They are definitely not going to be taking that for granted. This has been a little bit of a demolition, unfortunately at the expense of Global Esports, who have got to try to get something rolling in this second half. Even if they don't win this map of Lotus, they definitely need to at least play for a little bit of momentum coming into their own pick.
If you're GE, what are you talking about in this halftime? What are you trying to do? Other than
me as
pistol?
a coach, because I was a terrible hype man, I would be like, come on guys, we could do this.
If you said that to me and I was 10-2 down, I would be like, it's okay guys, let's just go next.
You could say let's just go next. I might try and just make people laugh.
Yeah?
Like, yeah, it's a rough game, guys.
That's valid. I mean, this is a struggle of a map for
Just,
GE.
guys, we're not playing MIBR, we're playing X team that we always dominate in scrims. New half. Let's just pretend, okay? A little bit of role play, guys, please.
Yeah, and then Osfos is in your face, refracting back, getting space. Zekken's throwing nades at you consistently at the perfect time.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I understand. They're good. They're playing well. They're playing well.
But it is MIBR's pick. Just be like, hey guys, listen, it's MIBR's pick. Don't worry. They're going to win this one. We go into ours. We're prepped. We know what we're doing in the next game. We got this on lock.
I mean, it's a big test because, as mentioned before, they do have a new head coach in the coaching booth, someone that has been very intimately involved with the roster in all of their runs recently, though. But Platoon has definitely got to step up as a little bit of a leader here for Global Esports, and I do imagine that Harvey and Patman will have many words to be saying to the boys. Try to keep them a little bit more focused. Smiles on the face of Autumn. Just one of those games that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But a pistol and a couple of rounds can really, you know, change a man's perception.
Starting into this pistol now. Kind of a must-win for GE if they want to kind of give themselves some sort of rounds to work with and not allowing MIBR to run away with it. MIBR, though, starting towards 3B. The mound info is going to be taken by GE. That Prowler's going to push them all the way back, and that pressure is going to pull a rotate. Osboss already into the B site, refracting back. Zekken trying to get that pick onto Javi, but it's not going to work out. Javi just been so good at not giving them one. But late now, Zekken gets that pick. The door is tapped. Autumn punishing Osboss for standing out in the open. And now all of a sudden, they're pushing towards the spawn here, wrapping towards C.
Yeah, it's a little bit disjointed for MIBR, so they need to make sure that they're not putting a toe out of line on an individual basis. Same can be said for GE, though. Just one player on this A site by himself. Crystal has got a lot of work to do, and he's completely surrounded. Sheer Wall at least keeping A main in check as he slips into tree. In the meantime, Autumn is clearing out all of attackers' spawn, but with MIBR making their way onto the A site, boots can be heard on the ground here. Crystal around the corner with the Frenzy has got a lot of work to do. 4 bullets left, and at least is able to take 2 with him.
Now all of a sudden a 2v3 here. The nades coming out, preventing that spike from being put down. Zekken trying to get aggressive, take that heaven space back, trying to get one. And Verno just waiting. Tapping that spike once again, trying to get it down, and 2 of these players walking up towards this A main. So much noise from Verno, but they know that that heaven is clear because of the space that Zekken's taking. The smoke going down. He's going to try playing into that. And all players are up on this front side. Zekken getting the pick onto Autumn, and now all of a sudden a 2v2. The paranoia going out, but Udon, he's already wrapped towards the back of the site. 2v1, the spike is half. Scary, Patman, he has no HP. Zekken, could this be an ace to win this round? Waiting for that tap being thrown. Patman walking away from it. Oh my god, the seat going out, the haunt. Nothing yet.
Just gonna stick it with the ace for Zekken, and that is just insult to injury for Global Esports. 11-2 here. They desperately needed a pistol here on Lotus in the second half, but it's not going to be coming together. That is just perfection from yet another one of MIBR's stars.
Really good job for MIBR. Looked like they were trying to get towards B. They started pushing towards C. They heard that door open and they were like, never mind, I think they're stacked and wrapping towards that A. But for GE, man, like that was winnable. It looked like they were in the right place at the right time. They had the right reads. They collapsed onto that front B, making sure they were punishing it. And now they're stuck with these not the best weapons. Sheriffs trying to get anything to do. And they're using it to buy to start pushing towards that B main.
Desperation force here for GE. And maybe are really simplifying, starting to make their way through tree. Autumn from the hip, doing a little bit of damage here that Harvey will be at least able to follow up on for a moment, but Aspas with a quick reply. Unitime on the off angle. The Stinger is not the gun for the job there. And MLBR at least able to settle for a moment. Flanks coming in for Patman. Aspas being very sneaky, but I think Patman is well aware. Spike's gone down on the A site, and at least the waylay has been dealt with over on Rubble.
3v3 here. This post plan looking a little bit hard. The door's going to get tapped. That pressure is going to be good. Tex is going to fall off of that tree positioning, and now all these players from MIBR are playing backside. The fast flood coming in now, tapping that spike, trying to get any of these solo peaks. Patman getting the pick onto Tex. Beautiful shot. Inferno trading, instantly getting two, and now all of a sudden a 1v1. But in second, he's won that pistol, and he's going to win this round as well. Really good try by GE here, punishing so many of those angles and being fast on that flank, but it just doesn't work out when MIBR, they're just shooting back.
I mean, that's just traumatic. 2 rounds in a row. Zekken denying Global Esports around on that A site. And, yeah, it's not looking like they have long left here on Lotus, unfortunately. A lot of these rounds getting down into scrappy XVXs, even in the first half, but MIBR have come out on top of those time and time again. Another force being put together here for GE. See what they can come up with. It is a glass cannon outlaw, handful of bulldogs. Patman at least has a vandal and some armor, as Harvey deals with that prowler over on the C side of the map. MIBR have taken some space over there.
Lots of C-mount pressure. But they're walking into Harvey. Autumn, sorry, getting picked off by Tex. That's actually insane. The peak right there from Tex. This is what I was talking about in terms of lyrics. And now so much information has gone, but they're going to try to re-clear towards the C. A really nice trap here. The blind, the paranoia going in. But the trades are just so good from MIBR. Oswald's getting that pick. Everyone's just following up with each other. And all of a sudden, 1v4 to win this map.
Yeah, Unitime has got his work cut out for him here. Will have to announce his presence by opening up the door, and MIBR already set up nicely. Tex sitting in the corner here. Low on HP, doesn't want to overcook this one. Unitime really going looking for someone, and somehow in the player cam, he's playing without one hand on the mouse. Of course, that's Harvey. He's dodged. Verno is playing his time in the door, and Tex will get it done. It was only really a matter of time. Let's be honest, a fantastic opener here for
Tim-tim 13-2 cok, gila. Nah, ini tim heretic.
Set them up to fight for the next.
Suara kayak sudah kecil lagi.
The big ass up against an unforgiving heretics, and oh my god, there's your orb.
Mantap. Oh, ada WC.
Hand delivered.
Yeah, surprisingly they're going to go the other way. He might be one of the only players in Valorant that actually uses the Ares, but also makes it look good.
Yep.
Oh, for the rest, can they find anything? Another Ares kill. And why not?
Here.
Why not?
Get out of here, bro. What is that?
It's versus Eco, but the Ares is so...
What was that shot, bro?
I think
slid out of the smoke, insta-headshot him in the smoke.
I don't know. It sounds like he's making you a fan.
A fan of him, yeah.
With the Ares.
A fan of him. I'm just a fan of Kajmaris.
But in this round in particular, with the Ares.
Well, in this round, you know, it's more about his movement. I would say the slide was what really caught me. I loved that so much. So that was, yeah, I think the Ares is a tertiary part of it. Double digits.
So it is a part of it.
No, hold on.
Glad we agree. You need to choose your words.
10 to 4, Tom. God damn it. Nice slide coming in from Kosh, but he'll be caught this time. Stun there for Benji, and he's made it around the corner. Out of dodge, at least for now. But even trades, right off rip, for Heretics, when they have these weaker weapons to work with, it's not too bad. The other thing I'm surprised by is GRQ and Kira have both gone for the light shields. That's a big advantage if Woot gets them in his sights. For now, you can see he's clearly not going to. He's on the other side of the map, but the late round, I wouldn't put it out of...
They have got the right read. They've decided, okay, we've got Raid Boss on one side in the form of Woot, and the rest of the players on the other. Benji already managed to clear one. Nice shots, though. Do they realize that Rians is still here? Yes, they do. Good paranoia. Make sure all the danger is
I mean, it's Woot. You're in a 3 versus 1 against Woot, and you're low HP. Pop the ult. Go look for him.
He did still have the blaze wall. We could have healed himself up with that too.
I think they know it's, or at least suspect after earlier, and the shots landed that this should be an outlaw. So the thing is, you're going back to 125 shields. I forgot he was the player on light shield. So even still, it would be a one and done. GRQ finds 4 in this round and closes in the gap a little bit.
Yeah, he was a necessary hero, which is a worrying sign with that being quite a weak bonus round. It was a few guns to play with. I think there was an SMG in the mix as well. So it's not the worst for Heretics, but I think the main thing is that if GRQ is going to start popping off like this over on the Phoenix, that's something that almost feels like a necessity going into this attack side half. You're 5 rounds down. Your Phoenix, this is where he should thrive. On the defense, Phoenix is really hard to use. Very situational. The retakes can work. And while operator in hand, Woot has been pretty disrespectful with the way he's been finding these openers so far, but this time they've avoided him.
Walking down again.
They haven't avoided him for long.
Yeah, that lasted about 5 seconds. Woots picked up the first blood for this squad. All gamers now in trouble. Oh, so much trouble! Gosh, Morris! He's taken one, left another on half, and he has sent them scurrying away from the B site into the hands of the Paranoia and Benji Fishy. There's no safe haven for this squad as 11 on the board for Team Heretics.
They felt like they were almost ushering them into exactly where they wanted to be. So you have the operator to push them out of one spot. Then they go towards middle. You're like, okay, they've fallen back. We get them with the Odin. It's like, okay, what happens if they now go into garage? We've got not just one flash. We got a double flash setup. That was a Paranoia and then the pop of the Rose on the other side as well. So that there's no way anybody... You dodge one of those, you're still completely blinded. And then they double swing it together. That's a gorgeous round from Heretics. And from All Gamers, you basically fell for every step of their plan.
I'm going to be honest, in the first 4 rounds, I was so worried for Heretics. They're making simple mistakes, and All Gamers look like the better squad, but that has changed in this second half. The defense, 2 away from closing it.
That's not caught him.
Pressure onto All Gamers. Economy quite low. A headhunter. All that Fangir has to work with, and he's about to have a challenge. A face coming out on long. Drone clears all this space.
He's going for the players, not the drone.
This is exactly what happens. You get your drone cancelled, the spam through the wall and the door. Done a lot of damage. And I think the worst part is Woot is still sitting in that corner. He's gotten out a little bit wider, and they suspect that it's clear. It's been too long without him peeking, so they shift walk it and he misses.
Oh, you know, there's a first for everything. A little bit of pressure now being put on, but this is a ruse. This is a fake. Now, they are going to have to trip the wall in order to give this up. Benji's also gone pressuring into middle, and they've sent the rotation back of Koshmaras. They've actually realized that maybe not so far. Okay, even with the wall tripped, he still went sliding in like a madman. That's going to be an advantage now. Never mind. Boo's already managed to trade it back into their favor once again. GRQ needs another big round, and he's got nothing. They are losing every single fight. But Fangir's behind them. Sneaking up back around. He needs to get... Well, basically needs to get 2, at least from this scenario. The first one might just be free, but then they turn around, and he's going to come out with 3! Leaves it down to 1v1. Shrimp has picked up the big gun. The Odin to try and clutch this one out. Benji's just sticking it, though. Halfway, already gathered up. Almost has to try and swing this one. Needs the instant shot, and he will get it. A 4K for Benji. Fangir's heroic wasn't quite enough, and unfortunately, they are now facing map point.
12 on the board. Again, the first 5 rounds, it looked like we were going to get a completely different game here, but Heretics have activated. And that's the scary prospect. Woot being on fire like this, right out the gates.
But look at this round.
He's coming back here to defend his title.
Like Benji pushed mid, went back, cleared a guy in garage, then pushes back around, kills the guy in spawn, and then kills the guy all the way back towards long. Like, he's basically fought every single possible angle that he could have in this round. And well, I'll be honest, this timeout feels a little bit late. Like, I know you're not just going to give up at this stage, but when you're 12-5 down, what would you say in this moment, Mitch? You were an ex-analyst, or assistant coach, was it, of of a team. So, like, if you were given the opportunity by the head coach to talk, what would you say in this moment?
Yeah, if given that opportunity, I think the first thing I tell the boys is, listen, we lost this map about 5-6 rounds ago. Okay. So we've always got the... And
then I go, as head coach, come on, be quiet now. Anyway, guys, we need to try and motivate. We need to try and... what?
Nothing. I was feeling inspired.
Oh, okay. What would Mini say? That's what we really need to think about. Because he might be the only person that can help them come back from this scenario. 12-5 down. It's a rough one.
This is a mini comp, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it is. He's a big fan of everything.
Everything we're seeing. It would probably
or are you just saying it's a small
breach, but other than that, loves it.
There,
my boy, can't you? It's clean for buy. And now they're going to keep going. The A side looking too tempting, but the rotate's already in from Team Heretics. Wood is here, and they've seen Boo up top. They should decide to go back, and it looks like they've made the call.
He's gone pushing again, though. Think about the last round of how much he was able to get with his pressure into middle. There is a trap on the other side, but already being spotted out. Good awareness from Fangir, and they're going to try and pressure him now. No survival. I like this. More of a death ball. Moving together, using that Hunter's Fury to get them in. Well, this time that C site will be firmly under their control. The remaining players don't really have the credits to gamble anything for this one. And yeah, I almost wonder if it'd be worth Woot just doing the same. If he gets the orb, it can drop that operator over into the next round. He's not going to take it in time.
This is making me a bit sad that we didn't get this pause earlier, because All Gamers just came in with a very clear game plan.
Yeah.
Stuck to it. Mid-round calls were good. Avoided the dangers. Dealt with mid as well. That flash coming out was perfect. They covered their bases, and I haven't seen them do that in this half so far. So, yeah, I fully agree. Pause probably should have come in a little bit earlier, but, hey, it might not be too late. 6 in a row. We've seen stranger things.
I haven't seen it.
Disappointing last season, but good opportunity for All Gamers to at least build up some momentum going into that next map. Again, I do think that if they're running a comp like this, or even just an identity like this, Ascent is going to be tough up against Heretics. You don't have nearly as much space to play with. You're not going to find lanes unprotected or with just one player there, and Heretics will almost always have a response to any aggression you're putting out. So I think that for All Gamers, I at least want to see them look confident going into the next map.
Well, yeah, funnily enough, the last time they played Ascent in the qualifiers, they did run this comp. So, yeah, it seems like this is their game plan across a few different maps. So, I agree. I think especially getting warmed up into that attack side. Of course, the next map was chosen by the Heretics, so they will get their choice of start, whether that be the defense or the attack. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there's going to be a few pieces missing in this round. Now, bear in mind, Woot gets a single kill. That's tour de force. He can drop the operator. Maybe gives them a little bit more of a stance in this round, but I think it is going to be relatively difficult. But hey, if Shrim's going to go jumping wide, even a disappearing app from Woot, and as said, if he wants now, he can give his teammate a gun. If he wants.
I don't know if you could hear that noise in the background, but I think that was Woot shifting into 6th gear. The engine's running hot right now. 6 rounds in a row for All Gamers. A man down already, but this is the buy that should be easy to deal with. Woot, the danger can be avoided. The rifle on Boo. Look, they haven't even got the spike in their hands for the first minute because they know that there are dangers to be avoided. Now they come back in with direction, and again, the call looks to be good, at least for now. Exploring B, hearing the trap, seeing no contact. If they get in there for the post plant, it should be most of the danger already avoided.
You're going to use the run it back just to make sure.
Worth being cautious.
Spike. Just about going to be planted before he fades away, and then winning back-to-back fights. Pressure once again seems to be on Woot to try and find something in this round, of course, with not handing over the gun to a teammate. He can have the tour de force for the next round, and well, they might not even be looking to play the next round at this point. 2 players spotted and slowly being surrounded. Everybody coming in from behind is a bit of a problem up until GRQ again. Another high-impact round from him. The distance down to 5, but still a long, long way to go.
Yeah, great work. GRQ's definitely been waking up. I know coming into this half, you were saying, look, that first half can be tough, but this is where he's got to be putting up the numbers, finding that impact, and I think he very much has. The flashes out on A long. Think about the late rotate that they went for, avoiding the A stack and hitting into mid. His flashes have been finding them picks or at least pushing players back every single time, and then he's there in the late round to put up those big numbers. Keeping this team alive. 5 in a row needed. And keep up this momentum. Certainly no reason to doubt, but the rifles back out for Heretics. A convincing buy, and as you said, Woot with a tour de force online.
Oh, that's not the start they were looking for, though. Kushmaris being dropped. Further aggression needed to almost just try and turn the tide. Look at the position that's being held by Kira as well. Up top, but it's Benji.
Okay.
To win the fight. Wu goes for the swing, and as said, he wasn't expecting anybody to be there. Down to just 3 health. But that doesn't mean he's not going to go back for more. Not shying away from the fight with the tour de force, but 3 players have already crossed. The 4th player is going to go out with a knife in hand, and that's all too easy. But does he have any idea that they've already crossed past? He does now. Sliding past, and it's a headshot as well. Bye-bye. Leaving just 3v3 and a post plant for the attack inside.
Now, Boo's in position. Paranoia primed and ready. But it looks like that close right corner is the main danger. GRQ has shown up the last couple rounds when they're put under pressure in these moments. The number's even for now. Great shots from Bai. GRQ there as well. And Kira to close, puts them up to 8. All gamers. Don't let this one slip.
Starting to look more and more likely. And I wonder when the moment that we see a pause on the other side. Obviously, we know the head coach for Heretics is currently not here, but Weber is a man of many words. So
over at London, which is not too bad of a run for them, because I remember watching Happy Way run around like a demon on this map, so beating him must be doing something right. Crystal spamming away inside a lobby, and goes the drone towards Garage. She here pushed all the way down C long here, though.
So much information. Zakin coming up with that waylay. Gonna put some pressure down, but the actual end plan is towards this A site. Verno getting a really nice dink, but Crystal gets the trade onto Tex. Instantly, so many trades coming in. Verno ending up being the hero in that, getting those 2 picks. And Batman, he's on this A site, on this A link. Autumn flanking really quickly might be the reason why they win out this round. In spawn is Aspas trying to hold a crossfire, gets the pick onto Patman, and all of a sudden Autumn in this 1v3, but I think they know something's up because they have that full spawn side.
Yeah, it's a little bit disjointed, unfortunately, for GE. One way thrown up on short side, and that is a death sentence here for Autumn. No way you can crack back into this site. Now IBR are giving him nothing. Spike ticking a little bit faster and out onto the line. Under the one-way is Mazzino, and MIBR just keep the good times rolling instantly off the back of a 13-2. They immediately win the follow-up pistol to start off Haven.
I really like that GE was active, trying to get some sort of information, pushing all the way down C-Long, but this fight right here, it was so scrappy. You can see how quick everyone was there to react, but it's just the right-click classic from Verno that manages to get 2 kills onto that.
That's a free gun, by the way. I remember back when, in the early days of Valorant, I would just full armor classic anti-eco on Jet and then just buy the op straight away, because why not? It was even more busted back then than it is now. And MIBR quite happy with how that went for them. Nice little easy 2K for Verno as they kick off this anti-eco into the C site. Dart dealt with. Autumn sitting on the back lines. Position confirmed by Aspas, but that's not too bad from Unitron. Dumping down that relay bolt, cutting up this push for MIBR, and they cannot get the clean execution. Through the cage. Out comes the dart as well as a grab net, giving MIBR serious pause for thought here. Drone going forward. Looking for Autumn, and they have confirmed that he's sitting in the corner. Down goes the deadlock wall. That's going to slow this down a little bit more. Aspas going forward. From the hip with the Marshall, cleaning out all of this C site, and now MIBR are looking a little bit more comfortable.
2v3 here, coming out through Garage, but it's instantly going to get spammed down by Verno. Really decisive at the end there, but that was a little bit scary at the beginning for MIBR. I mean, Zakin getting into that site, not shooting the player that is not looking at him, and instantly refracting back. A little bit scary for them. But I think for MIBR, obviously, they're still going to be happy with the outcome of this round. They're going to be on that bonus for the third round. These fights were so chaotic. I think GE, they're really trying to be active, really trying to make sure that they're pushing and trading as quick as possible. The fast floods are there. But it's going to be interesting how they play out this round. Gun round for the side of GE.
Harvey having a look to see what his Sova Dart can fashion for him. He does get scanned by MRBRs. The rotation comes back across for GE, who have spread out that Sentinel utility around the map. It's something that they love to do. You'll see a lot more of that. A bit of a Sentinel duel over on Garage side. Drone goes looking for some information, but it's immediate paranoia dive into the site there from Zekken. Aspas finding one before the refract comes through. Zekken will get the deck, and MRBR very much slowing this one down. Tex caught, pulling the pin out from Crystal's grab net there. Drone confirming where Yudotan is standing. This is so tentative for MRBR, not knowing when to make their move, but that's where Aspas and Verno just completely demolish everyone on the site, and Crystal, a little late to the party, has a big 1v3 to attempt.
Those are the types of things that I worry about for GE. The 4K for Aspas to close out the round. But every single time, it feels like they're in somewhat of a good position, getting that pick onto Tex on the extremity. They still struggle when it gets back into sight, when they're trying to get those trades, when they're trying to path into the site. They constantly take these ones or put themselves in these positions where they're so isolated and they cannot trade. But of course, when you're playing against Aspas, when you're playing against Zekken, you just have to be so much quicker and so much more understanding with these things, because they are playing at a pace that really throws you off.
Just waiting out a lot of that Senti utility, taking their time to crack on into the sites. You can't rush yourself. There's so many sensors, so many trips to deal with. That's very cheeky, using the dark cover to hide from the recon. Yudotan on the walk down middle, but the Sheriffs are not really connecting either ones of these vicinities. MRBR now pivoting back towards A, and that's where Harvey had the info line for a moment, but punished now by Aspas.
Not looking too good. 3-0. MIBR winning that bonus round just with the sheer force of them going quick, and a punish onto Javi. 3 of these players from GE, though, they understand what's going on. They're stacked onto this site. They've gambled, and it is a good gamble, but it's just the fact that they need to be in these tradable positions. They need to get their ones here, because the flank is also on the way. Udo getting that first pick onto Aspas. The paranoia coming in, but in a weird spot, making Udo get 2. Verno trying to get that trade and does end up getting it. And now all of a sudden, 3v3 here. Patman getting dropped by Tex. Crystal with a beautiful shot onto Tex. Now running towards short, trying to pick up that weapon. Does get the Phantom.
Off angle for Crystal, dealt with by Verno. The flank coming in from Autumn. He's actually got a decent timing to be attempting this clutch. Uncovered on the side, but a little bit too late there from Autumn. The model, as Verno gets off of that spike plant, cannot be calibrated on. Always a little bit annoying with some of the animations. Can't quite get the headshot where it's needed, and that's completely punished there by MIBR, despite some heroics on the Sheriffs from Global.
We talked about star players on MIBR, and it feels like every single player has their standout moments so far in this series, constantly going for 3. And it's just crazy how easy it seems sometimes for winning out these frags. GE, that was a close round. It was a little bit expensive for them, but an op on Aspas.
I mean, 100% it was a close round, but like, how many close rounds did you have on Lotus?
True.
Really struggled to win any of them. Quicker C execute, Hunter's Fury to back it off, giving a lot of problems for Yudotan. The Sova Dart scanning multiple players.
Wow.
And it's a complete decimation of the C site. MIBR changing up the pace after a lot of slower rounds, really waiting out GE and waiting for mistakes. This time it's pedal to the metal straight into C, and it works a treat.
No pop execute. Instead, they just full execute with that way layout. It was really beautiful. Not a single spot on site was left uncovered. And again, the sheer force of the movement coming in from Zekken and Aspas to get into that site so quick. The util usage, the paranoia, the dart, everything just lined up beautifully. And GE, man, they did not stand a chance. Look at those X's, 4 on that C site, 3 of them towards spawn.
I'll tell you one thing, though. There is no way you're getting into tower here. Double sensors. Surely that doesn't work out for MIBR. Dealing with both of them in just an instant. That is just perfection. Even both of the sensors were both checked perfectly by MIBR with the dart to follow up. They really just have not put a toe out of line since this series kicked off.
You really thought that he could hold that.
Give me a little bit of cope. Can I at least save a Vandal in tower for the next round? Anything.
Anything indeed. Well, they do have 2 ults online. The Deadlock ult, they have the Neon ult. They could go for something fast.
Can we at least kill Verno? Like 10-0
10-0 is insane.
That's kind of too much.
That's my IGL right there.
Yeah, okay. GE back on the Sheriffs. Funnily enough, were one of the rounds where they were a little bit more competitive compared to the gun rounds, but with the Outlaw on Aspas, I'm a little bit worried they might not be able to repeat that. Dash up into the site, out comes the overdrive from Udatan, and hand in hand with Patman, giving MLBR some serious problems, but that is pretty impressive for Mazino to come up with 2, given that he's hit entirely by the relay bolt. Nahapta's Fury connects on nothing. Global Esports now 2-on-4 in this retake, trying to come in from A-Link, dodging that drone, dodging the paranoia, but all of that is just buying more time than the spike, and Aspas to slide onto the perfect line. Decent trade back from Harvey, and almost a shot through the wall onto Verno there, but with the one-way coming out, and a perfect little triangle cross barrier, it's not even needed. Verno's just out in the open to get it done for MIBR. I mean, you can't blame the man for his confidence right now. I still don't think he's even died yet.
I'm really questioning the choices from GE here on this round, using 2 ults to try to turn it around, the Sovol and the Neon ult, but it's just not working out after that Neon has dropped, getting scanned for so long by the dart. Mazino full stun, still manages to get the pick on Neon. It's just not looking too hot. Javi, knowing that and still using his ult, it's a little bit scary because now you're kind of losing some sort of trap play potential that you have here, but the double senti comp on defense, they really need to win some of these rounds because it's so much harder on that attack side with this kind of comp, and now all these players towards that A lobby. The gun is going to get spotted from Tex. That operator finally coming online for GE. They're falling back into sight.
Drone confirms that there's more players here for MIBR, and a warning shot there onto Aspas. Flips the leg. Udatan finding some early success here with this operator, and that's enough bravado to kind of push MIBR away to other avenues.
Grouped up back towards mid here for MIBR. They're aware of the op. The drone still online for Verno though. Walking towards that C garage, gonna spot the Cypher setup. They're gonna know this is the weakest site. Trying to go for a C split here. Mazino just being annoying, putting pressure towards that B, finding out where that operator is. And now, just chilling outside of B with that spike.
A shot from Udatan. Little lapse of focus for just a moment. MIBR waiting for a mistake, which they're not going to receive. There goes the paranoia and the dash on into Aspas, who is traded out by Patman. Once again, the plant being attempted here by Mazino. Out comes the annihilation. Very much looking for a pick here. I'm not sure if it even connected. Verno just continues to come up with the goods until Patman is able to come in towards that B site. Down into a 2-on-2 now. Flank coming out for Autumn, who was waiting a long time over on C-Long. Finally finds his man. Second, last alive inside of that site. And Crystal does a good job clearing him out. Finally around here for GE on this defensive side. See how many more they can start to put together here, because this has not been the start that they were looking for.
Back on the board, and the main reason is it's on the back of that operator for Udo, trying to get one of those picks, trying to go aggressive, get the line, and just punish them for playing that slow style that they've been playing for a majority of the game. The walk up, the pop executes, just going off of info. I think this was all really nice from MIBR, trying to punish that operator, and Mazino TPing out in time, but the retake was just too good. This is one of those times where you see them going in together on the side of GE, and you're like, finally, this makes sense. The trades are there. The frags are finally there. And all of a sudden, back on the board. They're going to spot that Sova, though, with that drone, but the Waylay ult is out. That dart is coming down. Javi actually gets a spam kill onto Aspas through the neon wall. Zekin trade onto Crystal, and all of a sudden, Mazino, he's TP'd into heaven. They're trying to get this A crunch down, but there's 3 players on site.
Second, up inside of the dark cover. Harvey's finally been able to deal with the fox among the hen house, but Tex and Verno just wiping that site. Unfortunately, another round that kind of slips through the fingers of GE here. Autumn now tasked with yet another retake. Playing over towards that C site time and time again. At least has the neural theft to work with, but I'm not sure he has anyone to really use it on. Both of the players are inside of A-Long and Heaven respectively, so that's not really going to give him any information necessarily. Upshot missed there by Tex. That's enough to convince Autumn to try to attempt this retake and just hold on to his Vandal and armor. An immediate reply here for MIBR is going to put significant pressure on GE's economy now.
MIBR just making so much pressure on so many different angles for GE that it's getting hard for them to hold it down. Obviously, the util usage from Verno as well, absolutely phenomenal. Using that dart when they know that they're about to fight that A main, that A long, and just being annoying. And the shock dart to get that pick onto the player close right in that off angle in the corner. Just so many small things that add up here. Tex with the nasty shot through the wall while he's still running. It's just these small, insane micro things that are punishing GE. I actually feel like that round GE had a really good read. Fighting that A long, fighting the A lobby, punishing anyone that was going way too fast, using the neon wall to back off. They heard the Mazzino up. They held heaven. It just, everything just didn't, it just fell apart at the end.
That's every round in this series for GE.
Yeah, it
like,
keeps happening.
There's plenty of 3v3s. There's plenty of, you know, XVXs that are winnable for GE, but there's just nothing's landing in the mid rounds, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think
that's the facts.
That's the firepower, though, for me.
Yeah, to some degree. 100% MRBR looking like the sharper team coming into this series. Don't think anyone can argue with that. We all know that the ceiling of some of these players on GE, but the consistency, unfortunately, is another story.
Mazzino having some really good impact frags too, especially when he's on that B site, usually being the player with the spike, able to just get on and get off, able to use the paranoia at the right times. I really like to see how deep the playbook is too. Feels like for every little small situation, they have some sort of answer, some sort of protocol. Like when the operator is on that B site, they're dashing up and making sure they're using that verticality to punish it, trying really hard to get that really fast double dive duelist to put in the work. But now GE going for this mid fight, and MIBR has read right into it. They're holding this mid, knowing that they're on this thrifty, only 2 weapons across the board. One of them saved, and it's a fast beat.
And double dash straight into the site. And that's about as easy as it gets there. Mazzino is all over those players, whether he can see them or not. Plant going down in the safe position for MIBR here. And Verno, 15-1, spotting out the barrel of the gun for Autumn. Not the player you'd want to be peeking here. Still on the other side of things, a lot less to work with. And looking like MRBR going to walk away with yet another attacking side round. Autumn peeking out to see if he can find anything. And honestly, if Mazzino didn't get it done, Verno was ready to peek. That's kind of come on, guys. Can't do the guy from back home like that. Unfortunate.
Dude, the reaction timing on these guys right now is insane too. It feels like they're so ready for every single fight. The crosshair placement's absolutely there. The mechanics are just so good. Granted, it was a little bit of a weird buy round, a low buy, just trying to get something to support around that rifle that they saved that last round, but it's just not looking good.
Yeah.
Gun round here.
I mean, this will be a bit of a cathartic one. I remember sitting in a cafe in Seoul and watching MIBR play NRG at the end of kickoff on this map. This is more the scoreline that they probably would have had in mind back then. So this might be a little bit of trauma redemption, I guess you could say, for MIBR. Quick split into C. Autumn going to get tested. Not something that has been happening too much so far this game. Refract back, and actually, the flood in is starting to go the way of GE. Mazzino dealt with trying to dive through the cage as well. Verno from downtown, though. A Tex on the back lines is starting to turn this one around. Out comes the neural theft. Yuditan under pressure. Playing inside of his fast lane, trying to buy time for Crystal to get involved here.
2v2. Spike is down on the site. Trying to get that from Platt. Scary fight for Tex to take because he does end up losing it. Verno making so much noise going towards that garage. They know now where he's positioned, and the spike is still down. This is almost unwinnable. And Udo getting that final pick onto Verno. Now that was a really good round from GE. The super fast flood into the Cypher util. Cypher just staying alive for so long, playing together, making sure that they're in those crossfires when they are coming out of that spawn smoke. Just punishing that fast dash in.
I mean, that's what GE are good at on this map, honestly. That's a little bit more like it. The problem is I'm a little bit worried they've dug themselves quite a big hole on this defense. At a minimum, need 4 rounds out of this half, so
especially with their comp.
Back to back, yeah. It gets a lot harder once you move over onto that attacking side, that's for sure. Okay, we'll see if they can try to fashion themselves a little bit more magic. Autumn once again tucking himself in nicely towards that C site. Has a little bit of help from the rotation of Udo-chan. Crystal pulls out the grab net. Birdo on the other side of things. Let's go at least 1-for-1 on C, and we get fights on both sides of things. MIBR just taking space where it's given, and they've found themselves at least 3 picks here. Really, the world is their oyster from here on out.
It's actually crazy how quick that was, too. 4 players just grouping up here towards that A long. I say that, but Javi gets the pick onto Mazina. They know that he's sitting here, speeding up towards this B site. Autumn is rotating in, is caught out. Doesn't get a pick, gets so much damage down. That Sobal not gonna catch anymore. Autumn getting 1, but not before he gets dropped by Zekin and Javi in this 1v2. But both players are lit.
Yeah, time for a vintage Javi clutch. If ever you needed one, GE desperately need rounds on this defensive side. Nice open plant for Verno. Meets up with Zekin over towards the bottom side of C long there. With the shocks coming out, the MIBR lads will be very well aware of where Javi is coming from over here on spawn side. Hasn't tapped the spike yet. Drone to work with, but not really the kind of clear path for that to be used at this point. Out comes the shock. Clears out the close corner, but neither of MIBR are playing there. Drone in response for Verno to confirm that, unfortunately, Javi is not on the spike yet, and time is really starting to tick at this point. Trying to get the half. Trying to bait out the peak from MIBR, but they are being very patient with this one. Recon dart to follow up. Verno dealt with, but unfortunately, I think if the half doesn't come out, it's going to be done, and Zekin is the one to close it for MIBR. A really nicely played 2-on-1 there.
The scoreline is looking awfully familiar here. 9-2. 1 more round left in this map. This is so scary for GE. I mean, the double senti, it's not working out for them. They're not able to hold on to these sites. They're getting picked off so easily by MIBR. They're finding these really good timings. They're really good aggressive peaks here. And of course, they're taking their ones because of the confidence they have, especially with the momentum from that last game. And now looking like a fast C split here. Sorry, C execute here on the side of MIBR.
Again, it's Autumn and Udotan up over the top. Here's House Pass, well aware that the Neon is sitting inside of the cage. Mazino's made it into the site. And they are very tentative, trying to clear out this Bucky. That's great patience for MIBR. Patman trying to make a heroic play straight through the dark cover. Out comes the Annihilation, immediately sniped out by Aspas. And it's just Javi inside of Garage. He's got a lot to fix up here. It's a 1-on-5, but I don't even think that this man is going to be good for it, quite honestly. Blast Cannon Guardian is not the tool for the job, and Mazzino with a big 3k TP into the back of the site. It's another 10-2, double digits in the opening half. And look, honestly, it's just continuing to get sadder here for the Pacific fans, myself included.
19-3. For Verno. He's only died 3 times.
When you said 19-3, I thought you were referring to the overall round tally so far in this series. No. It's close to that. It's close,
it feels like it.
That's what I thought you were saying. It's so painful. It's actually so painful.
Oh, man. You guys didn't believe me earlier when I said MIBR could win the whole thing, but with the form that they're in right now, I think, yes, GE, they're struggling a little bit, but it's so many of these close rounds that just show you that the 1v1s are there, the 2v2s are there. Everyone is able to get their own. And the calls, too, have been really good. I'm really, really surprised by their strat book, by the playbook, how deep it is, and the way that MIBR is still avoiding and calling. Clearly, they have a lot more things that they want to call, but they're avoiding using it, because why would you when just executes are working out right now?
I mean, especially into double senti. The Waylay Jet is really doing wonders here for MIBR. They're able to avoid a lot of the sonic sensors, a lot of the trips in the setup by just good pathing in on the entry, using the refract where it's needed. Saw actually a similar kind of outcome when we saw KRX take on this GE squad earlier on in Pacific. They were able to use Jet really, really well to just avoid all of the double centi util, and I think we see MIBR do the exact same thing here to GE, unfortunately.
This is wild. I knew they were going to win, but I didn't think it was going to be this dominant.
I'm just happy you're in a good mood. You know, that's the one good thing that we get out of this, okay?
Listen, this is the time for you to convert a little bit, you know? Like, jump on the MIBR train with me.
Need a green card.
Oh, this is rough. I think for GE, like, let's just say there's a little bit of cope here. A tiny bit of cope. They win out pistol.
Yeah.
They don't throw the anti-eco.
Yeah.
Right? Perhaps they win a bonus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could do it.
Then we're 6 rounds behind.
Listen, MIBR likes to push a lot. And maybe with the double senti, they can prevent that. But they're going for this fast C-split here. Ospas is going to be on the site with Zekin. Tex hears all this information. Zekin going for his with that Sheriff, not connecting. Ospas manages to get one. Zekin gets another, but 2 trades coming in. Autumn and Udo. Zekin gets a second kill onto Udo, and 3v2. His team is coming in. They're trying to flood out onto site together. That shock might do enough damage. They're so lit, picking off onto Autumn and Javi in this one. V2 is not gonna win it out. Mazzino with that final kill. And Verno, man, these shocks. He's gotten like 3 this game already.
Yeah, he's good. We know. It's been an excellent game for Verno.
So he's like, what, 20 and 3 now?
20 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Pretty good on the Sova. Not gonna lie. Rest of MIBR giving him a lot of help as well. I think both the Jet and the Waylay getting a lot of value fighting from backside with the Sheriffs here. I think GE, you could see right from where they kind of get halted up in Garage for a moment, they are very kind of, I wouldn't say afraid, but just taking a little bit of time to get into that C site, unfortunately. And that's where the Sheriffs are having a lot of fun, picking them as they head on their way in. Speaking of picking GE as they head in, this time less success for Aspas. Forced away for the time being. It very much seems like GE want to pick up the pace, but Mazzino's founding away on his Spectre. Takes a lot of damage off the hero TP up the top. Should get checked here by Uditan, but he's got just not enough HP, unfortunately. And that is a double once again from the Omen. Mazzino just continues to conjure magic for MIBR, and Autumn, who was kind of waiting in the back of the site, all he could do was trade out the Omen before Vono cleans him up. 12 and 2 for MIBR. I think this might be back-to-back 13-2s.
The fact that Mazzino's just allowed to TP back into sight, get those picks, no trade on board.
They tried to trade him, but Uditan had like 10 HP because they took about 300 damage getting into B. Unfortunately. So that's how it be. That's how it be, yeah.
That's how it be. This was kind of nasty. We were talking about Mazzino just being so good, especially with his impact frags. But this round, you can tell he's just kind of styling on them. And now, 12-2. Like you said, we might see that same scoreline.
Fracked active for Zekin, shipping up on the line. There's the opener onto Uditan. And the going continues to get rougher for GE. Drone will confirm that Crystal is in this neck of the woods, so MIBR not even really feeling pressured enough to rotate. Still just kind of sitting in a 2-1-2 here, because you can definitely trust Zekin and Verno to probably get the rest of this round done themselves, or very there nearabouts.
Grouped up. A-long. Crystal alone towards short. The smoke's going to come in. The actual pick is going to come in from Javi as well. That Guardian. Beautiful shot. Verno now left alone towards the short. He is going to get slowly crunched. Autumn, Crystal trying to work it up together. They get that pick, and now all of a sudden it's flipped. 3v4. They've gained that numbers advantage. Getting that spike down as well. Holding into this post plant. They just need to be careful here, because these are the kinds of rounds that MIBR have been known to flip over.
Yeah, it's going to be hard though against double senti. Like the double pick. Great spacing and entries in from GE. I give MIBR a lot of trouble getting back in. The barrier, as well as the sonic sensor. You've got the follow-up grab net, even if they are able to make it a little bit deeper into the site. Hits all 3 players for MIBR. And Autumn capitalizing. Crystal to follow up, and Aspas finally pulls the grab net out. But I think he's better off just saving this Vandal at this point.
Really well played here by GE. They saw the opportunity and they took it. Verno being left alone, knowing he couldn't do anything, but the crunch timings are still there. It's good to see that they're keeping a lot of those protocols. They're not going, overextending, playing too needy. Like, they need to get those picks, still taking their time and making sure they're doing it with reason. GE now It's so hard when you're in this position because you have to snowball. You have to snowball the economy. You have to snowball these ults. It's going to be so much harder too with this double Senti comp, Crystal and Autumn, Cypher and Deadlock. It's almost impossible. The good thing is they can get so much information with those tricks, with holding it all the way back. It's going to be a little bit of a rough one because MIBR is actually going to face them for an A-lobby fight.
The time having a little bit of a think about taking that, but the utility quickly pushing GE back away. They'll allow MIBR to have control of lobby, and they're going to start to speed up into C now. This is where Tex, fantastic on the opening map on the Cypher. Quite happy to play retake in from spawn side. There's a juicy little kill trip there, but that's dealt with by Harvey Shock Dart.
These players taking sight with a vengeance. That wall's going to go down. Really annoying to deal with, like you mentioned earlier. And this post plant, they're trying to keep this site. They have the trip on the flank. They don't need to worry about it unless there's an omen. And now MIBR in this 5v5 retake. It's really hard, especially when these players have so much site control. But Autumn playing towards that back site. The TP comes in. Patman getting one, but Mazzino, Verno, and Osmos are so good at clearing Crystal. Left in a 1v3. And no win for him. Mazzino with the final pick of the game and a 12-3 scoreline here for MIBR.
That is just back-to-back stomps here. MIBR coming into EWC 2026 with a vengeance. You can see exactly why they were able to run over the Americas qualifier. Doing very well for themselves, and unfortunately another flat performance from a team coming out of Pacific here into EWC. I think that last round is kind of the cherry on top. That is exactly what GE's comp is meant to be good at. They get into a 5-on-5 post plan, all of the Sentinel utility down, and MIBR just retake with 4 players alive.
Insane, actually insane in MIBR, just proving themselves. They're more than just a super team. Every single player knows how to play together really well, which is the one thing that I feel like MIBR was missing for a long time. Verno, really good IGLing here, making sure his team is staying consistent, and they're still active.
Well in this round already. If it's going to be a continuation of how he played on the previous map, that could be pretty dangerous. Not the prettiest of fights for Riens. It is worth noting that Boot is desperately low. Now, GRQ does have a run it back of his own, but I'm looking at his teammate, and I have a feeling they're not going for this.
Yeah, I think that's a fair impression to get from this situation. The Heretics a lot better than the previous round. The fact that they came in and lost so much so early on, it made me worried, but this was a much more direct play towards short. Koshmaris, obviously, that's going to be the big factor, is if you're allowing him to have a lot of orbs, if he is finding success. Like, the Neon ult is good, but his impact, if he has even 3/4 the game that he normally does on the Neon, it's going to be way higher when it comes to those round-to-round ultimates. You already see it, round 4, and it's being used to basically secure the round.
Yeah, the only caveat I'll give is Fangir has got off to a slow start, in the sense that he's just been diffed 2 rounds in a row. I don't know if that's going to continue all the way through, and if you remove Woot's entries from the last 2 rounds, I wonder if they win those 2 rounds. Because he has just basically double entried this round and got an entry in the last as well. So I don't know how recreatable it is. Almost reminds me a little bit of like old school Ascent attack side, where it's like, did our Jet get a kill? Oh, they didn't. Oh, what happens now? Obviously, in this case, they do have the Phoenix as well, but that felt like the defining parts of the last couple of rounds. So I'm definitely going to see what happens. If Woot goes down early, are they still going to be as impactful?
Well, they forced Fangir back again. He's had a tougher start. As you've said, been diffed in both fights. They're not going to challenge him another time. Looking for that, as Kira is close by to help him out. The buy is a little bit shaky. Kira obviously has the stinger. Buys come in with a sheriff. For the most part, they are just saving those credits through for the next round. So Heretics have an easier time here. We've seen this before. They're going to at least put the pressure on, find the orb. Like, expect a lot more of these slower rounds when those ultis aren't online, trading utility for orbs. But push has to come to shove eventually.
Picking. 45 seconds. It's also sort of mixed bag buy. So the lower the time gets, I feel like the better it is for all gamers, especially with them not giving up anything in terms of those opening picks. They're also walking into Kira, who's been very good so far. Paranoia looking to delay, but caught as the door is broken. Now Fangir needs to step up, and again, it's a little bit late, but does manage one now. You're going to see that running back through, and again, GRQ precision seems to be the aim of his game. Benji's done well at least to trade it back. Might just give them the plant, but they need to clear by from underneath, and they've done that with ease, but again, a second life given. And now it needs to be the kill. The time already ticked too far gone, and because of that, Shrimp is able to just sit and wait for re-ends.
It's well played in the end there by Shrimp. That little jump, if he swung out wide, he was in a whole lot of trouble. But he gets out of dodge right away. Paranoia for Kira, just a small bit too late. But this is when we talk about on the Heretic side, the Phoenix and the impact that it can have. Well, you see it very much on the other side as well. It's going to be something that I think both teams are going to want to compete for those orbs. So far, it has definitely been Heretics finding a lot more in those early rounds. But that'll obviously change when we swap sides.
Yeah, at least from some of the stuff I saw in the qualifiers, I'm pretty sure it was Kira and GRQ playing the opposite roles, but I could definitely understand why they've made the switch if that is the case. Woot through, and already both players towards short getting their openers. An aggressive push-up all the way through B as well, so the defense have so much information and so much of a player advantage. You might look at this and go, oh, well, is this an eco for Heretics with how clean this has been? Nope. No, this was a 4-buy. This was everything invested, and yeah, all gamers have made it look like an eco.
Oh, they decimated them. Plain and simple, it is going to be a flawless round for all gamers to put them 4-2. And you see a lot of risks being taken there by Heretics, like Benji walking up on mid, popping the cage on the trap. The rotates hadn't come through. There was no panic on the defensive side. They won their fights with ease. And so they're still very much close by to hear that trap activated. Or trap activated, cage activated. And then I think it did look like an eco round from that perspective. The player walking up short as well, blindsided on that left. It feels a little disorganized.
I like the change-up as well. Like I said, Fangir's been struggling with that early A-site fight, so they just swap him to B. They put the double duelist over on short so that when there's the aggressive burst, there's two players waiting on the other side to try and stop Woot and Koshmaras in their tracks, and that's exactly what they do. A nice change, but then go back to the default once again. But of course, for the attack side, no weaponry, no ults to play with, a dive over the top, but it is a little bit messy this time. Shrimp has been having a fantastic game so far, but he will be dealt with. He had a teammate, however. Still a 3v3. Koshmaras has also managed to find a gun. Blue's managed another kill.
It was risky, playing that close to spawn with the spike. Could have caused issues, especially with the blaze wall already gone, but now a 3v2. A chance to move together. The timing here, a little bit off from Bai. They're both going to wrap up quite quickly. It's being watched, but the shot's not landing, and Fangir now with a chance, but he is on 10 HP. One shot from Boo will be enough. He needs to land the heady. And it's clean. All gamers continuing to put up rounds on this defense.
I sort of mentioned it. The reason it was uncharacteristic that Fangir had lost those two early fights was how good he had been in that previous map, especially with their comeback. And why in this round, I think you can see why. Sure, it was a lower purchase from Heretics. It was one where expectations were incredibly low, but there was a clutch that was needed, and there was a clutch that was found on just 10 HP. Big resurgence already. I think just waking up in the last map, you're seeing the level of what some of these individual players can hit over on the side of all gamers. With already, I believe that's their 5th round on the defensive side. They are looking good in this half.
A timeout called by Heretics, and I absolutely cannot blame them. I do think the second half is going to be a different story, but it won't be exactly short on difficulties.
Yeah, if anything, this comp looks almost built for the attack. Like, because if you had maybe the chamber or something like that, I might be more inclined to agree. But you've gone for a double duelist that allows you a more aggressive dive. Do I think that Phoenix is going to be good on the defense? Not really, unless you're able to do what your opposing side Phoenix is doing and just have insane retake potential.
Well, that's exactly it. I do think that in terms of retaking, refighting control, like there's so much that you can do when it comes to that defensive side, as we can see from all gamers. And I think it's what Heretics are going to be attempting as well. But it just depends how many rounds they have when they go there. Like right now, this is a much more dominant start than we expected.
Yeah. For all gamers. No signs of slowing down. They are up against a full buy again. Tour de Force used up, and, well, he's going to bail out right away. The control given up by Fangir. Although the Hunter's Fury thrown in to try to get a few bits of damage, a few points of health off, but I don't think it's found anything.
No, absolutely nothing. Aggressive positioning, and okay, just a pre-fire. An aggressive position, but okay. Wood's been able to trade, or get traded, I should say. Still, these aggressive positions are definitely going to be a surprise, but maybe not for GRQ. This guy is just hitting everything put in front of him. Ultimate back online for him once again. Koshmaras was trying to challenge, but now shying away from that fight, still manages to win it out. He'll get sent back towards the spawn. And that time has been ticking for a while. Boo still in a passive position, someone they desperately need to clear. And the chances of victory seem to be all but gone at this stage. Yeah, it most certainly is, but making it costly is the name of the game, and that is mission success. Although Shrimp's going to go down, that exit through main's never kind. It is what it is. A win is a win, and they have got one under their belt for Heretics, but a costly one. A lot of players lost there. I think the most impressive part about it was Bai went through that whole round without blinking.
Oh.
Shrimp continues to be an issue. As you said, a very costly round, but a round nonetheless.
On cold, look at him.
Yeah.
Very shallow breaths. Well, 5-3. Big round for Heretics to get on the board, and chipping away at the attack side is really what we're looking for from this. Okay, hello, Woot. He's back on the server. He's had a bit of success in the opening fight, but look who's fighting right back into things. Woot's going to have to keep stepping it up. That kill brings them back into an advantageous position. Low HP on Koshmaras. The plant still... Oh, that shock dart, it's perfect. He's got to run, and he runs right into the sightlines of Shrimp. Great work. But Fangir up top, Woot will finally fall. And Boo now has to make the clutch work. Doesn't even know where it's safe to stand. He's going to try and reopen the door, maybe thinking that both players are up there. Instead, he's opened the door for an opponent, and well, it's Fangir from the back line. Is going to be there to close out the round. In terms of credits, this is the worst possible scenario for the side of Heretics. 0 players surviving, and now everybody going down in the next round. But more importantly, you've got to talk about the performance we're seeing from the likes of Shrimp. I think there was a point he's 7-1, but he has been continuing this reign of terror. And you mentioned it, perfectly placed shock dart, ready for the player to try and swing. But also, it felt like after Heretics got the initial fights, their expectation was that, okay, they're not going to be here so soon. They're not going to be right in our face immediately. They never even got to plant. Yeah, that was the thing, a 3 versus 2. And the pressure was put on from the get-go. Boo never had a moment to take the spike out. Now Woot will not be getting away with that. It's ambitious to say the least. And the short play is also going to be cut in 2. Great damage from GRQ. He's got a freebie in that corner. He's got no bullets in any gun. So he's going down no matter what. But one player lost and plenty of orbs found. A run it back online for the next. And 7-3. This is a fantastic turnaround from all gamers. And Heretics, even if they want to make this close at the halftime, they're now up against the odds. No, this is squeaky clean. Like whether they're playing aggressively in the early stages of the round or playing into the retake, like just look at it. You got Fangir now building up that confidence. We spoke about him. I think it was 0-2 in the early fights. He's definitely turned that around. Shrimp is having a way better game as well than the last. And even like look down the board a bit, like Akira's had hella impact throughout this game so far. 7-3. Again, 7-5, and we're talking about this as enough rounds
to potentially go into that defensive half, but Heretics haven't looked particularly close to winning a round in a while.
Oh, Paranoia didn't catch. Not onto the deep player of Koshmaris. Run it back online and available for both sides.
There.
For now, at least, though, you take a look at Heretics. I think they're trying to bait out some of those ultimates with that early pressure. Some of those, I say, in particular, the one that they have. They go immediately up mid, force those players back, pump the brakes, and the key thing is the whole round, the spike is sat outside A. They just have Boo holding for the push-up, waiting for aggression. They were very much expecting to see all gamers come in with some flair. But the most they've gone for is a little bit of B main control, and now the ult has to be used by Koshmaris. They're just trying to avoid it, and it looks like fleeing for the hills has worked. A very dangerous ult dealt with
This
right
ruse
off
hasn't
rip,
worked.
and now there's a snake in the grass that they have no idea about. The unrelenting buy finds two. And all gamers still haven't used that big old ulti, and I don't think they're going to.
Oh, they don't need to do anything at this stage. This is all too easy. Heretics threw in that run it back as a fake. That was the goal. We're going to drag people in. Look, Koshmaris is running at you. There were 3 players on B. They didn't even move. They even faked away their run back in towards the site so that then they could leave this extra player just ready. You could see Boo had no intention of ever checking that angle. And then the split in from behind, well, they end up getting flanked by their own push.
It's the second time they've had huge success from playing those rotational sounds. Like we saw it as well in mid on the defense where they went from A short. You had the Neon of Bai run all the way up to mid into their spawn and back around to A. And of course, Heretics in main and in mid hear that and think, okay, they're reinforcing B where we just faked out. This is great. And in fact, no.
Oh dear.
They were selling the ruse. The Odin up top will be caught right off rip. Nice shot by Woot. As Kira falls, so too does Bai. It looks like Woot might have found his rhythm, found his groove again. Out of knives, but oh, that reveal was dangerous. No punish forward on the other side. In fact, no, he wasn't out of knives. He still had a few left to play with, but the rest of the squad's cleaning it up, leaving Shrimp alone. He's got no shortage of Odins, no shortage of ammunition. And 2 targets to take down. This spam could come through onto that left side, Jenny. It's always a danger when you bait the plant out like that, but he's going to send drone first.
And while the drone's going up, the plant will come through. Gives them an opportunity. Needs to try and find the spams, and waiting on the other side will be 2 players. Heretics at least able to find a semblance of balance towards the end, but it is safe to say that was a very dominant half from the side of all gamers.
Yeah, and we came in highlighting Koshmaris. We came in talking about that Phoenix and how much impact it can have. And in actual fact, GRQ is lighting up the server. Woot was on fire on map number 1, and the whole squad of Heretics is slowed down. But GRQ continues to carries forward that momentum.
I'll stand by the fact that I feel like the openers for Woot were the defining factor, and he only ended up with 7 kills. So think about it. It was the Blade Storm round that they just won. He got the opener. Then he had the double opener in one of the early rounds, and then the one just before that. It was a singular opener.
5 openers.
Yeah, so it's kind
rounds.
of like without him finding a pick, it just looked like they were completely flat. And then the retakes that were coming through as well were fantastic by the defensive side. Like you look at GRQ in this map and you go, Phoenix defensive side must be fairly easy. It's not. It's very difficult to get as much value as he's finding, even when you do have the run it back, because sometimes you're going to throw that on a retake, it gets absolutely nothing, and you're sent right back to where you were. But he seemed to have impact on it every single time. That's an impressive performance from GRQ. And now, when you think about it, which side of the map's easier to get the orbs on? It's the attack. So he might be able to do even more in this second half.
And meanwhile, that swap over from Heretics doesn't really seem to be paying dividends, but the second half has something special in store for us. Remember, this is where all gamers wanted to start. They wanted to begin on the defense, and here in Ascent, it's not strange to see the defensive side walk out with a victory. With this composition, it's just strange to see, just generally speaking, but when we get into this second half, the pistol for all gamers could set them well and truly on the road to a map 3.
I'm not sure I want to even comment on comebacks anymore, because it's already been the case in the last map, a massive streak of rounds. But yeah, I definitely agree. We could see now both teams win both pistols on the opposing side or the opposing map. And that might be the defining factor. It doesn't feel like it, though. 6 of the last 8 rounds going the defenders' way. And they looked fantastic. Can Heretics wake up and make this a close map, or are we set for Lotus already?
Well, to answer that, we leave it in the hands of 10 players down on that stage and a few coaches in the back rooms. Spotted right away in that corner is Woot. Heretics have a plan, though. There's a flash ready to be fired in by Koshmaras for Woot to continue forward, but they see nothing. Trap on the floor that's soon to be broken, and otherwise not a sight or a sound to be found as all gamers group up on short. 5-man clumping towards the A site. In fact, towards Garden. They wanted a pick before they make it to the site, and it would have been good to take Omen out. The paranoia on Boo would be huge for the retake. A little bit of tickle damage as well, but that position. Oh, the position spotted run.
Gets out there without a lick of damage. It's been a weird one. Opportunities for kills. But the main thing for all gamers is they've got themselves the plant. Kira, a 1-for-1 trade. They've at least managed to clear that position quickly on the Heretic side, but the rest might not be so easy. GRQ up close. Riens does well, but again, this man turns up. Another double, another push towards his ultimate and make that 3. Only one man in Koshmara standing, and he cannot hold the line. It is all gamers with the second pistol, and now 9-4 in the lead.
GRQ has completely taken over this map. A genuinely sensational performance starting out on that defensive side and being able to put up that strong of a play. It meant that we knew there was a chance he was going to carry it forward here, that it could even get better from there on out. But that many kills in a pistol, that's one thing for you as a player, for your confidence, but as an agent, Phoenix now 3 out of 6 orbs going into an eco as well, with all those orbs to be fought for. But the attacking side typically finding it easier to secure them. Heretics' first full buy might not be very easy.
Yeah. Similarly, you are hoping for this to be a 2-0. You almost kind of feel like Heretics might need to do a bit of damage in this round.
Take flight.
But if this map has been anything to go on, all gamers are not going to give them the time of day, and it almost feels like one of the real goals in this round might just be not to die to GRQ. Because the guy's been insane, but also he's 3 off having his ultimate available to him. Koshmaras up against the disappearing. I like the totem pole, though. It is 4 different variable heights. GRQ seems like he might be the one to try and face into this one. Paranoia, flash. Well, it seems like they might have been aware of the potential of something this dangerous, and already it's starting to look a bit worrying. Nice damage, though. Couple of players dropped, and well, eventually, yeah, it is GRQ. He's now 1 away from having that running back online.
Yeah, that won't be too hard to find at the start of a round. If you decide to play pretty direct coming into this one, Heretics, again, could have to batten down the hatches right off rip. You're expecting all gamers to fight for control, take an orb, and send GRQ through. And honestly, I don't think they need to do anything else. At this rate, he's going to win the round himself, especially with that second lease of life. Heretics from map 1. We saw it, though. We saw them fall off. We saw them give all gamers the way back in, and it looks like that one round to close out Haven didn't solve any problems. We're still in this same simulation where all gamers have complete control. Right away, Buys ran it down onto Woot. A statement success. Run it back online off the back of the orb. They take space on short for the backstab. The trade out of the ultimate for another man advantage leaves them into a 5 versus 3. All gamers looking like they've got this one locked out. They didn't see the Omen. They didn't spot the Omen on sight. That drone didn't see. Boo! He's able to get 2! A chance still for Heretics. One small mistake. A glance to the right. And this could be secured. A massive lead for all gamers, but instead Heretics are dangling on to a cliff's edge with the very tips of their fingernails.
Oh, mati dia.
Through the smoke they go. Both players winning their fights at once. Heretics cling to life, and as you mentioned, it was just Boo going unnoticed on the site that made all the difference. The openers that came through for all gamers were fantastic. The individual excellence, but it is a bit worrying for me that even though, yes, it's an important round for Heretics to win, it's a good break-back round, that was up against a weak buy. It was Fanging using a headhunter, not having a rifle to play with throughout the entirety of the round. Now they come in with what will be a solid purchase, but I guess at least that running back was used last round.
That's the main thing. I don't think any amount of weaknesses is going to make up for what you were up against there. Heretics are at least going to be happy to have that round, to have that big ultimate out of the way. But now we come back to conventional play. It's not going to be as direct from all gamers, and we saw a lot of success from them with that wrap-up on short late by Chamber. Some gaps for Team Heretics as they were distracted. This time, a full default spread by the defense. And Woot, well, he's a man that can hit headshots with anything. And with this weapon, he won't need to. There's no way he bypassed the drone, right? They must have seen him.
Instead, they're going to go the other way. Flash dodged, but it doesn't matter. GRQ just cleaner with it. He was down to 7 HP, but get a little bit of health back. Ooh, is playing on the edge of this smoke. Maybe a little bit risky. Dart through. It's only going to be the one. Again, GRQ is just flying. This guy has been on fire all the way through the map, and it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Spike at least dropped to the ground, and Rians is aware of the player on site already. Again, they've managed to turn this back into a winnable scenario from what looked like another nail in the coffin.
The hard work is still to be done. All gamers will secure a plant. Outlaw will be one shot onto either of these players, and a headshot from Kira secures a kill, secures the advantage as Rien's now up against the odds. A spam is about as good as it could get, but Kira there to secure a big lead for all gamers. 11-5 on the board right now, and considering this is Team Heretics map pick, it's certainly not off to a good start.
No, for sure. I think that they knew coming in that this would be the sort of more favored of the two maps. I think both teams will be relatively happy with Lotus, but I think that for Heretics, that might have even been the map that they picked if they didn't think that they could get this as a bit of an advantage in terms of a weakness for an opponent. It's safe to say it's not looking like a weakness for the opponent. GRQ is 22-9. Well, I think Shrimp would be there with him. He's 15-6. He's just not been dying very much throughout this game. Heretics are... It's not even a last-ditch effort. They've gone for an eco in this round, and then they're going to try and fight back. Was it the same? The 7 rounds in a row? It would be identical.
12-5, yeah. 12-5 before.
Unless they can find an upset here. And the only thing they have to pad the gap is a couple of ults. Like a Hunter's Fury can work nicely. A run it back if you can put it into the right position. Unfortunately, you'd be doing it without weaponry, which is far more of a risk. And also means that, well, look at the ults that could be online next round for the opposing side. You don't want to give them an even further advantage.
A lot of space taken here by Bai. It's a risky play when you're up against pistols. And, well, at least one is going to be found for Team Heretics to put us even. It's certainly not even in terms of the weaponry. It's going to have to be some big performances towards this B site. Spike's on its way. 3 players ready to break through. Kick down the doors, and Koshmaris has been spotted. TP taken by Boo. Okay, now there's at least 3 here, and Boo's got the rifle.
They're gonna go back.
Ult online for Koshmaris. But yeah, all gamers know what's just happened. And then they're leaving. They're bailing with Woot on the other side, only having a bandit. It's a good position, but 1, they'll expect it. At least suspect it. And 2,
maybe they looked
really
at the time
for it
and thought, okay, that's a little bit too much of a risk, but he needs to get the kill here. If he could somehow deny that plant, that was the only way they were winning the round, and now it almost feels like an impossibility once again. Boo's rifle is the furthest back. And sure, Woot has a little bit of ground, but it's not like all gamers are just sitting back and waiting. No, they're re-aggressing. This team is not shying away from a fight. Boo will trade things back. They need to get a move on. It is going to be the run it back thrown into this round. They need to now make this a conversion. Boo with his 3rd already, but he's going to have to basically do everything for the squad. And that time has been ticking all the way through. In fact, it might already be a point of no return. The spam's not quite connecting, though, because Maris is trying to stick it over the line all the way through, and instead is stripped to 12-5. Sure, both attackers go down, but they're not going to care.
No, I think the economy is in a pretty decent position. And also, you know, they're 12-5 in the lead. So... Yeah. They can
and
lose,
the running back's gone now.
Yeah, they can lose a few rounds. They can send by with an Odin to just run at their opponents at the start of the round and see what happens. Why not? Heretics did it. But GRQ has really been impressive. I am surprised to see that Heretics commit that much to this round, though. Like, as soon as the running back was popped, it felt like it was a mistake, because it is an all-in play. It either works now, or you're not equipped for a very important round coming up. We need to see the solution from Heretics right here and now, because it looks like we're going to map 3.
What a brilliant time to take a tactical pause.
Yes, you've always said it as well. 12-5, exactly when you want to see them take a breather.
That's why I said in the last map, I was like, if there was any time to take a tactical pause, it would be now. Yeah. There's someone in chat right now probably so angry that like clearly he's a bias. No, I think they're equally as screwed as All Gamers were in the last map. I think All Gamers had a very impressive comeback. I don't believe that Heretics will be able to do that.
The thing was, in the last one, it was like, Woot's finding all these openings. What do you do when he doesn't? And also here as well.
He hasn't killed his half.
3 out of 5 of their rounds. Whereas for All Gamers, I don't think it's that, oh, what happens if GRQ stops? Well, Shrimp is 17-6. Bangier's 12-7. Like, there's no shortage of individuals online right now for All Gamers. So it's not a case like it was last time of, what if this one guy goes away? There's 2 more. Rien's, nice opening. It's by down and out, and GRQ's ult dealt with. Boo's also covering this space on short perfectly. And a Hunter's Fury, maybe he didn't want to put through.
What a great time to take a tactical pause. As said, this is where the comeback begins. I always believed. Shrimp being a 1v5. Now, of course, economy-wise, they're not going to be in the best spot for the next round, but they do have a lot of opportunities. And Heretics kind of just have to go at this point. It's an all-or-nothing position. Like, still take risks, still take gambles. I feel like what happened to All Gamers might also happen to them, though. It's like, even if you start this streak of rounds, there's no pressure until you get close. Because you're like, okay, we've already lost. I think most people would sit here in this position and go, there is no way back into this map. And then when you do start climbing back, I think it's the second you start to believe that then the pressure hits you. Of course, for Heretics, this is quite a different pressure. Because although we've always talked about them as a second place cursed team, that was broken, well, multiple times. Once EWC, when they managed to hoist the trophy, get their name engraved forever. But the fact is, they've also now done it in EMEA. They took the title there as well. So we are looking at a squad where those excuses go out the window. And you're going, okay, if you are going to have a chance at a title defense, I wanted to see them come out hot in the groups. And I'll be honest with you, they haven't.
Well, that's exactly it. It's a different kind of pressure when you are the up-and-coming team who almost did it so many times. And yeah, you go into a final and you feel like the curse is there. But now you come in defending that title. That's something these guys haven't had to do before. And you know that everyone coming to this event, they have got you've got a target on your back. And they're more than happy to hit it. 6 rounds in a row for Heretics. I do think on this map it's harder. It's going to be so much harder. But at least, yeah, see, especially with the comp you're against, the amount of impact Phoenix can have on those run-throughs is crazy. And that ult won't take that long to come back online.
Oh. Bangir gone, but the weapon has been retrieved. Woot's aggressive positioning this time does pay dividends, but I don't know if he's going to want to stick around there for too long with an operator versus a low buy. This round feels like more of a gimme with the weaknesses that were there for All Gamers, but it is also just a confidence booster for Heretics. Like, have a round or two that actually come up relatively clean, because even the ones they were winning in the last half, it felt like they could have gone back the other way. Buy as well now. Desperately low, and even the reveal is pretty much perfect. Benji still has to be a little bit careful, but in the end, it's now just one man standing. Every single piece of utility being thrown at him, and even the hot hands will get a kill in the end.
Yeah, as it should be a relatively clean one on the side of Heretics. The comeback continues, but belief certainly isn't here just yet. Not on this side of the caster desk. We're going to have to see them continue on this form, but good signs. Early picks were going their way, dealing with Fangir. A little ahead of the pack in the main swing.
I'll believe when I hear a Vamos. That's all I'm going to say.
I like the sending out a main aggression, and this time it's going to be changed up. Instead of
Come
having
on.
Woot there with the operator, he's going to be going looking for them on short, and yeah, that smoke immediately blooming is pretty much taking him out of the round for now. A whole lot he can do, and he wants to be showing presence. He wants to be seen, whether it be by a drone that's not coming his way, it's over in main, or by a player. He wants someone to notice him so he can get out and then pull them into a fight with Koshmaris, who's just been waiting in the corner. A gorgeous setup. Very well executed. GRQ finds himself in that same boat.
Nice bait and switch. You can see why they wanted to have this operator in play. It just adds another dynamic. Even still, though, two players about to come up. Another pick coming through for Woot. Him waking up definitely makes this a little bit more interesting. And it seems like all gamers have sort of ground to a halt. It's almost like these guys had a pact that the second a pause is taken at 12, just you're going to slow everything down. You're going to really go for more tentative plays, whereas what we were seeing in some of the earlier rounds were them just blasting through angles. Instead, I think we're getting a 30-second save.
It does make sense seeing this team play direct and play aggressive. So I'm surprised we haven't gotten more of it. Even here, like the smoke goes up on short, and it's like the two players that go to push it, quite staggered going through those battles. It gives the opportunity for Woot to find one. He even manages to cloudburst his way out, run back to short, and then Kosh can fire from the side. Shouldn't have been that comfortable of a fight, even with the setup, after he dashed to the left instead of the right.
Oh, do they get to keep the guns? Oh. This is going to be important for them to have something going into the next round, and
we'll never know. I guess we'll never know.
Who knows? Well, maybe we'll be able to tell by what weapons they have going into the next one, but I'm going to say they did hold on to their guns.
Okay.
Based on absolutely nothing at all. Which is always a good way to come in with information, but you know.
I'll believe you then. So, a strong economy.
I don't even think it would be strong even with the same guns. I think they had maybe 1 or 2 players that could rebuy, so there might still be a piece missing anyway. But at least gives them something to play with.
I see something in the middle of their screen, and I believe it was a red bar ticking down. Another timeout called here. All gamers have still one. I'll see it in a moment when the graphic comes up, but yeah, still one left after this. 4-round gap. Definitely the time to pull this into play. Let another 2 go by and see where you stand, but I do think that it's only a matter of time before we see them take this super direct approach again, and Heretics are going to be put to the test. If the setup is wrong, if the players, the shots don't land, the reactions aren't there, like we've seen before, this composition from All Gamers can just run it down so fast.
Does look like they were able to hold on to the weaponry. And they're going to kind of like half buy around those couple of guns. It's like, okay, you still have the Tour de Force to play with. You can make this one at least a little bit more competitive. I also think the Tour de Force here could hold huge value. It's going to be playing on a lurk on the other side of the map, and then the rest of the players looking to try and challenge versus Boo. A lot of pressure put onto him, but without that initial contact going their way, they're now going to run back to the other side of the map, trying to get the ultimate online or GRQ, who is now 1 away.
Well, for Team Heretics, it's only 1 man towards this B site. At least it's a Sentinel, but he hasn't got any of his utility. Only the camera to play with. So some backup will certainly be needed. All gamers were to go quite direct. They're taking this immensely slow. They're clearly expecting some aggression out of Heretics. They're taking a long time to re-clear mid, assuming someone's in a ratty little corner, and you can't blame them after what they saw in short a few rounds ago.
Would it be Woot? They're expecting Woot to go swinging. Okay. Spy with another. Player caught as well. And somehow he's managed to take 2 kills, but this is all the ruse. This is the bait. They're trying to go back in the other direction. In fact, he's now kind of facing even in towards their spawn. Re-ent has been revealed. 25 seconds left, and there's still 2 players within the back of this B site. They have done well in the early stages of this round, but that doesn't mean they're going to get it over the line. 15 seconds now. They need to get a move on in towards this site. Benji sitting, the wraparound coming in, but he gets dealt with quickly, and Shrimp again might just be there to close. The jump up might be able to deny. That's at least 1 for Woot. But there's still 2 more players that he needs to deal with. Operator in hand, watching to see if Shrimp makes a mistake. A slight step forward. That could be the loss, but instead Shrimp is very patient with it, even looks for the contact, and it's the contact of Fangit who will be there to close out the map a little bit quicker than Heretics managed.
Oh, and I have to say, coming...
Game ini ya sorry bang, gua nggak tahu. Gua better yang longship deh, masih bangun gitu. Ya, apalagi gitu mendingan gua nunggu aja deh. Gua masih lama kayaknya, paling 15 menit 50 menit lah. Maybe guys. Gua nggak tahu berapa lama deh. Seharusnya nggak terlalu lama ya guys. Maybe lah. My day, baby, day. Oh, nggak ada suara catur.
Thank you very
Oke, lagi kita nunggu ini deh. Lama kalau ini cok.
map of their opponents. Let's welcome back our analyst desk, Kukuka and Big Time. And how about the young kid? Just started playing professionally recently, out of Ascension from VCT China. GRQ is lighting it up here against the reigning title defenders.
I mean, I'm loving his Phoenix. It's looking really solid so far. I was so impressed by all gamers all the way across this map. I feel like they understood it very well, even with a slightly different view of composition, running that chamber as well. We see it a little bit, but not always. I just thought it was really rock solid. If you would have told me that's their map pick, I wouldn't be surprised with how it looked across the board. Heretics, on the other hand, is a little bit of a different story. I was quite a bit more disappointed with them here. I didn't feel like they got the ball rolling anywhere near enough. You see them get some rounds, start that comeback that AG did in map 1, but it's not enough. I feel like individually, they couldn't hang in this map 2.
In my opinion, everything that we ask for all gamers is to carry that momentum that they had at the end of.
Lagi kita nunggu lah. Palor. Ya, sabar. Oke, besok. Kita nunggu. Nah, kita main Deadlock lah. Ada Deadlock. Meta. Oh, pakai kompe bakal lama sih. Waduh ini bentar.
Match found.
Oh, ini audio. Wah, nggak percaya, benci banget map ini, cok. Mana ini map? Ini agak kayak gimana ya? Oh, nggak bisa gitu. Mau tahu apa ya? Boleh lah.
Everyone is afraid of something.
Kalau nggak salah Pade itu lagi di nerf banget nggak sih? Lagi di nerf banget.
Radianite, we meet again.
Siap.
Anchor set.
Emang banyak berubah di prep-nya.
Snap prime.
Reloading.
Oh, ntar.
Find you. Mark one. I'm out of here. You fought well. Bring them down.
Kosong.
Bring them down.
Wah, anjir.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Oh, ngapain anjir? Silakan anjir. Oh.
Don't be spending too many brain cells figuring them out. Overthinking is just as bad as underthinking.
Don't care.
They are mine.
Dropping smokes.
Here. I have the spike.
I'm out of here. Shortcut.
I'll find you.
Wall ready. Reloading. Plant the spike.
Plant the spike.
Careful. Careful.
I planted.
Here.
Here. Anchor destroyed.
There.
Hush.
Bring them down. We found one. We'll catch them. Bring them down.
Watch out. Next fire. Enemy spotted. B.
One enemy remaining.
Reloading. Commendable. Again. I must stop their Reyna.
Denial act. Countermeasure broken. Enemy spotted A. I
anjir dari belakang tuh.
Last player standing.
Flank deh, flank satu. Ke belakang flank deh. Oh.
Find the weakest link and kick him in the shins.
Prime.
Ah be abi.
Dropping bring them down.
Enemy spotted B.
Where are you?
Spike planted.
There.
Enemy spotted A. Right here.
Aduh.
Last player standing.
Di petona anjir.
Pry open their minds. Find the weakness. Need a drop. Fight harder. Sleep. My ult is ready.
Target down.
You will not kill my allies.
Spike down B. Last player standing.
Wah. Sakit.
Alright, lucky socks. Don't fail me now.
Apa aja Unrated ini gas aja mau menang kalah gitu. Salah cowok.
Get on with it.
Enemy down.
Spike down B.
Bring them down.
Spike
I
drop.
have the spike.
Enemy spotted B.
Anjir gak mati-mati dia.
Go, go, go. Last
Spike's
player
down.
standing. Spike down mid. 30 seconds left.
Take this.
Siap banget ya.
One enemy remaining.
I got spot. Neon, nice work. Could I have a drop? Reloading. Go, go, go!
Reloading.
Dropping smoke.
Enemy A. Careful.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
There, take them! Marked one.
You blinked.
Bring them down. I'll find you.
Enemy A.
Get out of my way! Reload! Our spike is down.
Spike
Nice
down
try.
A.
Wall raised. Watch out!
Your duty is not
Over. I have the spike.
with somebody.
Here.
One enemy remaining.
Ya, mantap.
30 seconds left.
Malah. Pelang, pelang, pelang.
Gotta go.
Di belakang, itu di belakang. Oh, itu loh.
You were a boulder. I am a mountain. Time to stock back up.
ready. Anyone feeling generous? Teşekkürler. Thank you.
As one.
Enemy A. Bring them down.
The hunt begins.
Take this or spike.
Oh iya,
Spike down mid.
tai, ngocok.
Last player standing.
Dang it.
Team Ace.
Nggak nyadar itu anjir.
Stand tall.
Ah, gila
We
anjir.
are Valorant. We are fighters.
Kacau banget, kacau itu.
They're prime.
Ini kacau, tim kacau anjir. Udah mulai belum, Cok?
Stay focused.
Oh, jadi gini aja. Lah.
Where are you?
Spike down B.
My ult's ready.
Bring them down.
Enemy and defender spawn.
We'll catch them. I have the spike.
One enemy remaining.
Spike planted. Bring them down.
I'm out of here.
Last player standing.
Jelasin, geng. Baik, muncul. Terus. Ter. Jadi gini terus ya, Cok.
They have courage, but no one is immune to fear.
Kalau yang penuh, bentar, kalau terima kasih, Pak. Ya belum deh, belum. Gua belum jatah, Cok.
I'll find you.
Enemy spotted B. Denial active. Contract expired. Tank destroyed.
Goodbye.
Udah banget. Ay!
Careful.
Anchor destroyed.
Right here.
Watch your knuckle.
Careful.
I was
30
spiked
seconds
down.
left.
I have the spike.
Spike down B.
No peeking.
Negated.
One enemy remaining.
My ultimate is ready.
10 seconds left.
Watcher expired. I planted. Enemy spotted mid.
Thrifty.
Oh, mantap.
They had better guns. Watch them. Sooner or later, they will make a mistake. Capitalize on it.
As prepared as I'll ever be.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Go, go, go! Watching here.
Where are you?
Dropping smokes. Enemy spotted.
Marked one.
I'm out of here. Bring them down.
The hunt begins!
They're blind with fear. Close your eyes.
Wow, tetap.
One enemy remaining.
Tiba-tiba ada blok ya, tai emang.
You want more? Here's more!
Right here.
Kacau banget ya, kacau banget.
Last round in the half.
Reloading. Things we need to kill him with. Die up.
Reloading! Reloading! Reloading!
Anchor set. Snare prime.
Time to work.
Turn it all to dust.
Bring them down.
Move aside. Reloading.
Bring them down. Here.
Mare, take them! Listen to them!
Marked one.
Reloading.
One enemy remaining.
We'll catch them.
You should have run. Switching sides.
I reckon I'll take a kip after this.
Reloading.
Reloading. Reloading.
Need a drop. I love this sport. Careful.
Denial active. Countermeasure broken. Enemy spotted A.
Spike planted.
Where are you?
Gua kira nggak ada yang lorong tuh.
Eliminate.
Itu kiri tuh. Toner katanya.
One enemy
Oh,
remaining.
itu tuh, jelas.
I will not die here.
Makanya deh,
Go, go, go!
apa kalau ada yang jagain ini bedanya rata-rata dari
This
ini
is our
sama
home.
ini. Rata-rata. Fighting cok.
I feel good. That's weird. Need a drop.
Maybe they're pacifists. Help. Enemy spotted B. Dust.
Oh, muter. Bukan muter nih. Gua udah edit box. Gua nggak cek bener.
Spike down B. One enemy remaining.
Spotted B. You were warned.
Fight till the end, no matter what.
Ini gua WhatsApp dulu deh.
I don't quit.
Ya, anjir udah mati. Mau jelas tuh.
I'm out of here. Too slow.
Coming through. Here.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Ya udah keluar, makanya gua save tadi.
Hesitation is for amateurs. Let's
Oh.
go.
Untung aja gua save. Gua gak bakal sini lagi, tapi ke tengah.
way.
No peeking.
Where are you?
Hi. Bye.
Mati anjir. Tai.
Spike down mid.
Patay, gua tuh jarak dekat aja nggak mati coy.
Drop in smoke. Enemy spotted B.
Spike planted.
Jelas nih orangnya.
Drop in a smoke.
Negating.
Jelas dua-duanya cok.
Right here.
Semuanya ada di
Watcher,
depan.
expired.
Masih aja ada. Semuanya ada di base. Lagi cok. Lakuannya cok. Ini BK siap nih.
Remember, bullets hurt. Need a drop. Need a drop. Salamat. Thanks.
Careful.
Listen to this!
I'll find you.
Denial active.
Spike planted.
Multiple enemies A.
Right here. Bring them down.
Enemy spotted. A.
Last player standing.
Aduh.
Enemy spotted. A.
Oh, bisa. Gak bakal menang.
Drop in a smoke.
One
My
dream
ult is
ends,
ready.
another begins.
Dia butuh strategi ini ya, buat tolongnya. Dia tuh pede-pede sih.
There.
Snare prime.
Whatever.
I'll find you.
Negating.
There.
Anchor destroyed. Countermeasure broken.
Trap trigger.
Back like I never left.
Enemy spotted A.
Spike down
Bring
A.
them down. You will not kill my ally.
Last player standing.
Kenapa di atas coy? Kenapa di atas? Anjir. Astaga.
Your duty is not over. That was
Spike planted.
Guys, sebel cok.
Enemy spotted A.
Last player standing.
Cek turu ini.
Need a drop.
Cek turu bener dah.
Reloading. I'll find you.
Enemy spotted B.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Turn it all to dust.
Enemy
Negating.
The hunt begins. Spike planted. Last player standing.
Time gua lagi bau lagi cok. Kelihat game.
Here we go.
Tuh anjir.
Reloading.
Snare front.
I'll find you. There. Bring them down. Nightmare, take them! Mark 4.
Astaga.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
You will not kill my allies! Gotta go! Next!
Kiri. Cek peluru.
Aye, where to? Reloading!
Raja.
Listen to this! Spike planted. Last player standing.
Bangke, kirain cok. Tai. Kalah deh.
Match point.
Dreams are a funny thing. One little twist.
Kalau kalah mah kalah aja. Kalau saya itu kasih. Sama aja tuh. Kalah aja lah. Udah rated lah. Usah terus.
Where are you?
Udah ribet.
Spike down A.
Ish. Apa sih anjir?
Last player standing.
Tai. Time gua pedok banget ya. Tadi top 1, sekarang aim gue banget
Spike
tuh.
planted.
Nah, bentar.
Attackers win.
Karena coba kita lihat trimnya. Blended. Semua Uci heretik lawan AGL. Ini dong sim. Oh belum ya. Masih meta tadi nih. Udah deh. Ternyata masih lama tuh.
Looking at a guy that now has less than 20 seconds to try and win the entirety of the round. In other words, I'm saying it's impossible.
Bentar ya.
At least a little bit of damage to close it out. An orb for Woot as well, but for Heretics, a much needed win in the pistol. You falter there, and all gamers continue that steamroll. 7-5 can turn into a much more convincing scoreline, especially with how things have been going. You imagine a couple of quiet rounds from Rienz, but that's the thing. You have to imagine it, because we're not seeing it just yet.
Yeah. You never know how this game goes, though, because as we sort of said, like, you have the beginning of the match, and we're looking at Woot looking invincible. He's gone quiet. You look at GRQ. He's got a bit quiet. Hello. That's a lot of players have been spotted, but they continue to try and aggress versus it. A little bit risky, considering they now could just leave. They could just fall back to push through the smoke. Looking to try and follow them, but if they run even for a second, the steps will be heard. And the rifle on Kira, unfortunately, isn't going to catch anybody before they make their way to the A site.
Yeah, so one rifle recovered. But what can be done with it? 3 players to take down, no shields in play, damage done. So we're looking at some pretty deadly opponents you're up against, but you're not going to be saving. Not at this stage of the game. You've got money for the next. Fight for Benji, 1 shot, all he needs. Head or body will do. And Benji takes 2. 7-7. Now we are neck and neck on the decider map. For Heretics, like we said, coming to this event to defend the title, it's not off to a great start.
No. But if you get through the match, nobody's going to care. Like, that's ultimately what it is. Sure, you might look at it and go, okay, do I believe that they were going to have a chance to win the EWC trophy for a second time?
Retrieving thorn trap.
Probably wouldn't have done coming into the event, but getting yourself closer to the playoff stage is the main thing, and for all gamers, they have had a fantastic display in this matchup so far. A slow start, a potential for this to even be a 2-0 with their climb back. They don't want to let this slip versus Heretics, because as we said, it seems like their group is a competitive one. GE might be making an argument otherwise with their first game, but I think we all know the caliber of the players they have, and will look to come into that lower bracket match competitive.
All gamers are starting to posture for this retake. The door already open. It'll swing again, but before that, Boo's going to be swung on by Kira. Now they'll up the pace towards this site. Vice wall in play. We're going to see the Thorns put out to block that north side approach. Big spray by Shrimp. He's found himself two as a showstopper comes online for Woot. A third in this round, and the nade buys that little bit more time. Shrimp under pressure, that time ticking. He has to find them, and they can play ring-a-ring-a-rosy or just take him down. 8-7 now. Team Heretics in the lead.
Yeah, a huge bonus round victory, and more importantly, Woot getting those additional kills, allowing him to get the showstopper. Puts him in a position where they were able to convert a bonus round and continue to build momentum. That's the biggest thing. Because it looked like they were screwed. I'll be honest, you had 4 players at the back of that site get hit by a paranoia, and then 3 of them get seized in the corner. I thought they were dead to rights. There shouldn't have been any way out of that round, but as you can see, the confidence building, the pressure starting to mount. For all gamers, what was a previous map of all laughs and smiles, their opponent's map choice slipping from Heretics' fingers, they now sit there with their lead diminished to a point where they're behind. They need to step up on this defensive side because, well, basically what I'm trying to say is that could have been a very winnable round for them. I think their utility was well placed. It was just the shots that didn't land.
It's always going to be a bump in the road here and there. Heretics only 1 round in the lead. The timeout just coming to a close. Let's take a look at where they're at economically for all gamers. It's certainly not going to be a pretty purchase. And the opportunities here for Koshmaris to run wild with that outlaw. Right off rip, he's going to be looking for a battle. Forwards A. But I do think in this round, like, for all gamers, I expect to see aggression out of them. So I like what this is on C. They're just pumping the brakes, made a lot of presence on A, and then decide to burst out of the smoke with the flash. The problem is Heretics are being so cautious. They're sitting back in their spawn, waiting for an aggressive stance. And the only thing that could play against them is that position from Boo, but the paranoia has caused issues for the man that's in that corner. Made this look like a pretty easy round. Okay, with Kira down, that was the main danger. The Guardian gone. Only Fangir left to deal with.
Yeah, a little bit of additional damage, and especially considering Heretics pushed into the stack up of players, they managed to clean that relatively easy. I also want to point out, like, I feel like Woot was like 3-9 or something like that. Like, he was down the bottom of the scoreboard. I think it was only Boo that was below him. He's now 11-10. So already in this second half, we are seeing that superstar duelist start to rise back up to the spot we know he can. Oh, Koshmaris able to close out the round. Lead extended. I'll be honest, after the start they had, it's not something I necessarily expected to see from Heretics, but it does seem like those few individual brilliant rounds, especially from Rienz. I don't know what it is, but I feel like whenever Rienz pulls off a round, it's always so impressive that it just gets everybody mega hyped, no matter how they're performing on that side. He's also a player I don't feel like I've ever seen mentally boomed.
I like that. I like the replay angle there. I mean, just realizing that GRQ is so distracted by Boo that he didn't even turn to get the kill on Woot. Didn't hear it because of the paranoias. I was waiting for his shot to land in the back of his head, but it never came. There's a showstopper online for Kira.
Glass cannon up as well.
This is probably the round that you do want to send it in. And again, that means Team Heretics want to be cautious early on. You make noise, you group up. They get a whiff of it, there's going to be a rocket coming your way.
This is something Heretics do quite regularly. They go wall hunting. They like to just remove that piece of utility, and it forces rotations. I just look already, like GRQ has had to go all the way back to the C site just to try and help out. They don't have any intentions of going in that direction. Now, it does force them in towards the operator, but we're also seeing attack side pings on the exact position that Fangir is holding. It's just whether or not he can get one and get out. Now, bear in mind, as said, he doesn't have any shields to play with. And he's already been smoked off the angle. This leaves the A site completely open. Now, of course, if you're Heretics, you can't know it's completely open, but you probably think you've pulled a rotation or two.
I certainly hope they don't think it's completely open, because it's not anymore.
They do.
The op's going to be forced back. As you said, the patience here paying off. The plant will be found, but look at this position from Rienz. I don't want to see him go any further than that, but he gets up close to the showstopper, gets popped. Now he can't see a damn thing, and Woot rips Kira out of the round. Great response from Heretics.
Yeah, good counter utility. I think there was a haunt in there as well that revealed him while flying through the air, so while being blinded, just gets decimated. It's a good start, but more is needed, and wow, it's a whiff or two, and Bai does a lot of damage, gives them an advantage, and Fangir extends it. It's left all on Taboo. They put their Nightfall the other way. They don't expect him to still be in this corner, hiding in those ratty positions. A man who's had a rough game so far, but he spots that he's on that defusal. Now just needing a singular shot. And it might have been a quiet game from Boo, but if he's winning you rounds, who gives a damn?
A masterful play. The second that you saw the Nightfall go out, he realizes, well, they're going to put the pieces together in a couple seconds. I need to take this kill. And pounces right in the nick of time. Great use as well of his TP to jump out and check. Oh, he is defusing it. And then he baits him with a shot. Just a single shot, hides back behind the wall, and knows there's no way he'll have the gall to stick it. 10-7 now for Boo. He was on 3 kills. That pushed him up to 5. But most importantly, it pushed Heretics up to double digits.
Yeah, it's about keeping that momentum going. The second there's a break, that's the moment where all gamers start to realize, okay, we're back in the game. We're only a round behind. Instead, that difference is up to 3. An aggressive stance. It's a shame because the paranoia was good, but it didn't seem to matter too much. Woot has gone from being executed to the executioner. He's stolen that blade and is cutting off the head of all gamers. And well, now there's only one gamer left.
The worst part is for Woot being the person that gets all of those kills in this round. All gamers go into the next round with a full buy. And Woot goes into the next with a showstopper because he's built up all of those orbs. Now we've got a problem. And more than one problem, that's for sure. Heretics are activated again. We saw it at the start of the series. And a few flashes in the pan here and there, but they have been missing for a while. It seemed as assured, a guarantee that we were going to go 2-1 in favor of all gamers, that this map was going to continue to spiral out of control, and yet they have turned it around. Swapping halves has seen them win 6 rounds in a row. Just 2 more to close this out.
They've been able to shut down everything that's been thrown at them as well. The operator wasn't a surprise. Defensive aggression hasn't worked. They've been patient, and Woot has been hitting all the way through this attack side half.
There.
You can see it. No walls spotted. So now they go looking elsewhere. They just want to put doubt into the minds of all gamers. This time they'd have to pressure in towards the B side. Although you can see there's a ping there, so maybe even that's going to be the next check. It might not matter, though, because the wall becomes irrelevant quite quickly once you lose your Vice.
Fangir's very lucky, didn't swing deeper into that angle. They were ready and waiting. 3 players staring at him, and the jump out was a huge mistake. That's what he didn't notice on the first swing. Good job from Kira. Koshmaris is a big scalp to take here, and he'll run away after burning up the paranoia from the other side. Flank around by GRQ. It's being watched, and Rienz pixel perfect on the shot. Showstopper can't even land in time, and Shrimp is gone. This was the full buy for AGAL, and it is all gone downhill. 7 in a row now for Heretics, unless Kira is about to pull out. A very impressive play.
Kira's had moments, done quite like this just yet.
They need the money.
They need whatever they can get at this stage. You can already see that the hunt is on. Rienz is actually going to box Kira into position. There really is nowhere left to go. Can he hold on to the gun? That's a nice shot, but doesn't know where the other players are currently coming from. In fact, Benji's going all the way around just to try and catch him if he tries to go back towards the spawn. The safest place to be, and it's definitely not walking into Woot. But the disparity between his first half and second half is going to be an absolute landslide. The fact that he's currently not just positive, but I think either 1 or 2 kills away from being the top of the board makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, considering where we started. This whole series has been like that, though. I feel like no performance can keep up from half
strong
to
start,
half.
Strong finish.
Yeah, yeah. But this
Woot
is
is the bookend.
No, he's the walls closing in on AG. And at this point, it is starting to feel like an inevitability. But, you know, I said that before, and we ended up 13 to 11.
It'd be a great time for a pause right now, This would be a
Oh.
really good time for all gamers to take a pause.
I feel like the scoreline's too close. At this point, you have to just let it run the distance, you know?
I want to know what inspiring words are coming through from the coaching staff, because whatever it was on map 1, it did work.
Yeah,
it brought them back from 12-5 to, unfortunately, 12-11 and then tasting defeat.
Yeah.
But they did manage to just sort of pick up the pace. And this has felt somewhat similar. Like, it's felt like in the second half, there has been no chance of them winning a round. Like, obviously, the Boo 1v2 was their best, but the fact that we are seeing 7 rounds in a row for this attack side, 0 opportunities or mistakes left for the defense. But hey, 12-5. They managed to win 6 in a row. Well, they only need 5 to get to OT.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the attack side, though, where they came in with a much more clear direction.
Don't worry about the details.
It was quite pacey attacks. But hey, look, the details here, they're doing the same thing. They might not be on the red side, but they are attacking. Pushing down on C main. 4 players there at the start of the round. This is an all-in strat. You're coming into this round knowing we lose this, it's over. We make 1 mistake, it's over. 4 players push C main. It's crazy. Heretics could already have the B side. They could have walked through that utility. They could have taken A with ease, and instead they stood and waited. Once again. Death and dishing it out at plenty. All gamers.
Oh my god. He has a
get the ace to close it out. Because I don't think they can win it anymore.
Well, Woot was making a comeback to try and take the top of the board. Unfortunately, Riens has made sure that there is absolutely no chance, unless they throw a 1v5 just to try and take that away from him. Riens dragged them through the first half with crazy moments, and he might be able to end the map with the craziest of the lot, just sitting in a corner, waiting for enemies. The Nightfall has given them the clearance of the site. And now Bai is all that remains. Riens has finally died. He's been able to steal at least a couple of weapons. But you've already heard the Neon ult has gone through. The Overdrive is going to make sure there's at least some weaponry, and it does not look long for this world. A couple of kills are a nice parting gift, but he needs to try and find 3 more with only 21 health.
Yeah, they put a second set of thorns through. He didn't shoot them. He was waiting for that swing from Neon, so left on 21 HP.
Dia memaksa si Bala harus masuk ke dalam.
Would be enough. Step through the thorns would have been the end, and there it is. Boo with the wall bang to close us. 13-7, and our title defenders off to a good start. It was a little bit shaky, but the series is under their belt.
It's been a very weird game.
Karena live gua cuma 3 jam. Kita mau lanjutin sampai long sim lawan apa ya? Long sim lawan itu, tapi kurang terlalu. Gua nanti paling nontonnya RQ lawan PRX nanti ya. Tanggal 24 ya besok malam, yang malam nih, ya malam nanti jam 18 ya. Terima aja yang udah nonton, hampir sampai jumpa lagi live berikutnya. Thank you. Adios.